Hi, and welcome to. That's my door. Welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings. How's everyone doing? It seems like the chat's already going. I know I was running a little late. Um, it's been a rough trying to get things done, trying to get show sheet done. There's actually not a lot of news yet. There's a lot of G.I. Joe that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to rehash a lot of stuff that we talked about on Friday. If you didn't miss Friday's show, and I apologize to anyone that I streamed while they were on, it was a great show. Had a lot of fun. Aaron the Toy Enhancer. I had Bees Battleground and Dreadnought Ryan all on. So I had a really good time. I think people seem to enjoy it, and I'm going to try and do stuff like that after big events like that so we can break everything down. You guys just don't get my side of things and what I actually think about everything. So, few things to get through before we get into everything that's going on. As everyone knows, I like to waste your guys' time for at least a little bit of the day before we get into any type of news. But we got one big topic, and that is the Super 7 Mothership. Is it going to be a success or fail? And I think it already looks like it's going to be a failure. But I also didn't even realize that the HasLab Ghostbusters ends today too. So again, really bad timing. Everything I think the Super 7 did was really poor on their end. So anyway, I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I did get my His Tank in. I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to break it down. I'm definitely going to review it and open it up and do the His Tank alone without the figures. But I'm wondering if I want to break down the figures and do each one individually, or maybe just the female and take the other two. Who knows? I'm still trying to decide that. It's going to come out over the next couple of days because I just picked it up, and that thing is a nice heavy boy, and it's almost feels like it's in a box. It's almost a little bit smaller than the Sky Striker was. So, all right, so I want to discuss a few things. First off, I feel like we talked about this last year around this time, and I wasn't even. I mean, this wasn't even on the agenda. I'm just going to quickly hit it. And that is Hasbro is laying off 900 employees amidst weak toy sales. Now, I want you guys to understand, weak toy sales does not just point towards our line of what we collect 6-inch figures. It would be amongst everything else too. But I swear they were just laid off 1,000 right before Christmas last year, or maybe it was right after. I know we discussed it. I swear this is just a normal thing for them. So it is disappointing. This happens in all walks of life. I know some channels are going to try and make it like, oh my God, Hasbro's the only person that's ever laid anyone off around Christmas time. It's unfortunate. It does happen. I do feel bad for people that are going to lose their jobs, around this time of the year. And I am not trying to apologize for Hasbro. Before anyone says that, I'm just saying this is corporate America, and unfortunately, it does happen. And and it's happened to a lot of people. Hell, the auto industry was just on strike in the past couple months. Chrysler, Ford, GM. So this type of stuff does happen. So I did just want to kind of mention that before anyone says, hey, no one's talking about it. It's just disappointing. All right. Now I'm going to say hi to the chat. All right. I want to start by saying this. As of now, there is really no one in here that I don't like, that I try and ignore. And this is now the second time this has happened. So I recently received a message from someone saying that I ignore them, and it's obvious, and I have no idea who they are. And if that's how they feel, I'm sorry. I tried to discuss it with them. They said their piece. I said, hey, listen, I get 1,500 chats. I'm not ignoring anyone. Uh, as I have mentioned before, if I don't like you, if there's a problem, I will say something, or Matthew or Ed will just boot you because we don't need people that are shit starters or people that are just constantly causing issues. So if there's anyone that thinks that I'm ignoring them, I'm not ignoring anyone. This chat is going crazy right now. I haven't even started to say hi to anyone. I can see some of the people that are already here, but believe me, I'm not ignoring you. If if you're doing something that we don't like, we're gonna boot you because it doesn't bring any benefit to the show, doesn't bring any benefit to the chat, and it's just probably gonna piss people off. So anyway, 42 people in here. Everyone hit that like button. Let's start saying hi to everyone. We got Speaking Moistly channel member here, Brandon R, Multiversal Toy Hunter, Johnny Reno. Once again, thank you so much for the giveaway. We got another wonderful channel member, Viper Scout, who made his debut on my on our members only live stream. He also put out a new video, so you know what, or his first video. So anyway, check it out. Man, I don't even know how to get. I can't do it. We're gonna get your name out there, Viper Scout, just so you know. If you can follow him to his channel, then do that. We got Shango730, Matthew Matson, one of the moderators here. We got Newfie 4024, Aaron the Toy Enhancer. Again, thank you very much for joining me on Friday night. Another channel member and a Big Bacon. We got Crusty Old Crow. We got Toy Connections. Love seeing Ken here. And Brick Something, both with wonderful channels. We got Thanos Copter. If you want to find out how to alienate people, go follow him on his on his YouTube. He decided to do like a 40-minute video discussing how to alienate people. Like that's hard to do. Payne's Toy Samples saying hi. I will be busy with a pre-record. Hey, do your thing, man. I'm glad you're here, and sorry about Friday. Unfortunately, that's when G.I. Joe dropped stuff on Thursday. So JLS Comics, again, another wonderful channel. We got Boba Wave here. Tony's Face. Don't forget that S. He gets really upset. Sherwood Krupp here. We got a Liquid Identity 101 and a DJ 5 Ash. Look, I got it right. I don't get things right that often, but we got Ronin X33. We got Fat Tread. Yes, I'm saying Fat Tread, and that's right there. I say Fat Tread. You say, damn it, Larry. Ray Paz here saying hi to everyone. We got Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. We got Capitan. All I see is vegetarian or vegan. I'm just gonna call you Cap. I think that's what I've been doing anyway, man. Scrolling through here. Anyone else? We got Jason Gura. Yes, it looks like a Hispanic last name. I should know how to speak it, say how to say it at least. But Cobra Commander is here. Anyone else? Oh, okay, look at this. 78 is here. I wish there was some way you could do a talk back so I could be told how to pronounce certain names. And if someone knows me, hit it up. Cap says, "Hiss is the shit." Pure. You know what? Mine's just sitting there, and I'm gonna open it up. I kind of posted on the Instagram there. On the Instagram, now I sound like a really old man. Showing that I did finally get it. So, and then we got Rekar and Tatsi. Hey, you know what? It's always okay to be late. So, anyway, hit that like button. Like I was saying, listen, if I missed you, I apologize. You know what? Fuck it. I ain't apologizing. I missed you. All right. It's nothing against you or anyone else. Okay. Update on the card, just so you guys know, it is finally done. It is done. I got it. It had a check engine light, which told me that it needed a battery. It ended up it just needed to be charged. They probably left it kind of the door jarred or something. So anyway, I did get it. Oops. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit the. So it is done. The the drama of the car is done. Christmas will have a car to get to where I need to go. So anyway, as I mentioned about this, I'm not sure how I'm going to dispatch doing the reviews. I'm definitely breaking it up into two. And I will do later on a comparison of the HISS computer 3D printed HISS. That's just something I'm going to do. I don't have nothing to do with reviewing it other than comparing the two. Um, but anyway, today, if you guys didn't notice, Super 7 had a hell of a sale on Wave 1 G.I. Joe Ultimates. $11. I believe some are still there. That's actually what I was looking for when I was running late, Matthew. I saw your little comment. Um, didn't miss that one. Listen, it's kind of cool somehow. There are links of mine being thrown out because I can see how many visits I'm getting off my links. Thank you to everyone that has purchased. If you are interested in any of those, check it out. You get 10% off if you use my link to it, or you use my code at the end. Also, for after $79, you put the code in and you get free. You get free shipping. So if you do want that first wave, it's a great deal. I mean, they really are. Even though I may not be a fan of, I may not be a fan of those figures and that company for the most part. The truth is, it's like they're right there, man. I mean, for that price, you can't miss it. And Wave 2 is on sale for $32. And I think people are going to try and hold off and wait. But I think what really happened with that is you had Super 7, all these companies bought this stuff. They bought the Super 7 thinking G.I. Joe wanted it. Thinking that, hold on one second. You're asking, I think Ray's asking where. Here, I will post a link really quick here. No, they don't have a hiss. um. Anyway, there's a link to. It should link right to my thing. So anyway, I think what happened was BBTS and Entertainment Earth ordered so many of these, thinking that people wanted Joe's, and unfortunately, classified is just better. And as I've mentioned before, I don't believe most Joe collectors are toy collectors. So they see the price point of $55. And even though a lot of collectors will say that stuff's not worth it because of the articulation and everything, other Joe collectors just look at it and they go, "Oh, I'm not spending that much money." They don't understand that that's how much a lot of toys cost. So I think that's why these things are sitting there, and I don't know if we're gonna see as many go on sale this deep um, right now, because I think that BBTS and Entertainment Earth probably cut back on how many they ordered, knowing that nobody is buying these. And if no one bought Wave 1 and no one seems to be buying Wave 2, you're not going to hold that much stock on the next one. So it might be a big blow to Super 7, who's really going in heavy on G.I. Joe, as we'll be just discussing a little bit later. All right. As for the videos that I have coming out, so you saw that I did the room tour. If you didn't, go watch it after this. I did a room tour of my O-rings 4-inch figures. Yes, I do still collect those, believe it or not. And as you can see by the size of that room, I can't really put too much more in there. There's no way that I could put, mix it with my classified and have anything like that. I'm completely out of space to the point where I had to move stuff out to the bar. I've actually wanted to do that for quite some time because I like to utilize as much as I have, and that runway is just perfect for the bar. So to have those, they're night ravens, but they're not really night ravens on there. I think it looks really good. But anyway, at the end of the year, I will be doing a classified. I know people want to see that, but that stuff, um, I know people want to see that, but a lot of that stuff's taken down right now. Not to mention the hiss isn't even open, plus the fire team. Cap, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Seriously, that means a lot. And like I said, I think I talk too much. Obviously, I think I talk through it too much. I actually was telling Ken from Toy Connections, I'm like, I feel like I just talk too much, and him and I've read a few things, and they said, hey, thank you for like explaining everything that's going, everything that's going through there. But yeah, I like to explain what's going on because I don't want people just to look at it and be like, oh yeah, you know what? There it is. So everyone's saying, great room tour, everything. Thank you very much. Again, I really like to keep that. Fatrid says tour was 118th for life. I know it's crazy. You can collect both scales. You can if you really want to. So anyway, thank you all for watching that. Again, I do enjoy doing it. I've started doing one every single year just because I do change things around. The classified is obviously changed around a lot more over the years because there's so much stuff coming out. So anyway, we did forget to mention this Thursday, Punks on Film. We will be talking National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, since that did win our little thing of best Christmas movie. So we decided that's what we're gonna do. We really didn't mention it. It is a busy time, and Matthew and I are both really busy. And I've mentioned numerous times, but really, that show takes up more time than you might imagine. Way more time than you might imagine. And say hi to Ted Darklaw. How are you doing? Hella Dope Toys. Check them out. All the links are in the description. Okay. Oh yeah. So speaking of that, the links and everything that are in the description. And did I mention last week I put up these, and I did the Damn It Larry specifically for Fatrid and Random Diorama. So if you guys just want to damn it me anytime, it's there. You can have it on a mug, especially for people that are doing live streams that just want to say damn it. Here's the Tony BBTS one. So I put a bunch of different stuff up there. Here's the one that should have gone up back in August, but it didn't, and I didn't realize it. So anyway, the merch is there. Again, all the links are in the description below. So anyway, all right. Well, the last thing I had to talk about was me ignoring people. I already said that. Everything's really quiet right now. Seems Roman's quiet. All right. So let's get into it. There hasn't been so much news. There hasn't been a lot of news, especially we talked about the G.I. Joe stuff. But I will go over that soon. But first off, let's just get into everything that we did see. Hold on. Oh yeah, I did want to talk this really quick. So, because it's a HasLab, it's ending in just over 3 hours or just under 3 hours now. They have really blown by their funding goal. I think everyone knew that this was going to do really well, for the fact that if you have a proton pack, you want this to go with it. So, I don't think that the fan base that I have here, sounds weird saying the fan base. I don't think the people really listening here are really into this. If you are, awesome. I hope you got it. Again, I think doing any type of crowdfunder around Christmas is just stupid. But hey, you know what? This is a pretty good price if you already have that. If you already have that. So, what was that? Hey, Punk, the wood oven in your. Okay, that's. Okay, so I don't have a wood oven. That. So let me explain that to you. All right, hold on. Let me remove this. All right. Okay. And that's actually a wine rack. So when I bought this house, and it's a townhouse, right? So it's not big. I've mentioned this before. So what you're looking at, so what you're looking at is that's a brick wine rack. That whole wall is brick. The wall that I'm walking towards where the classified bookshelf is, that's all brick. And that bar is a brick and uh glass block bar. Like you cannot like you would have to do a complete demolition to get rid of that. And that bar just sticks out and it obstructs it because it's not like I don't host people. Um so it's one of those really weird things where not wait, I gotta ask, what is the Willy Wonka door? Is that the one that's really short? Is that what you're talking about in Impossible Pie? Answer me in that. If it's a short one, then I'll explain if that's what you're talking about. Okay, you know what? We're gonna get it. Okay. Wow, we're way off. We're way off the rails, but I'm gonna explain some things to you that we didn't know. So listen, there's all this brick bar, all this brick bar. Nothing you can really do about it. My steps go right down the middle. So it really just cuts the basement in half. So it's like I lose space anyway. So when my ex and I, when we bought the house, there was all this glass block that we had to rip down upstairs because it just took up too much space, right? It was in really bad and stupid spots, okay? So we tear the stuff all down upstairs, right? Her and her dad do all the construction, demolition, right? Downstairs, there's really nothing we can do about the brick bar. But it also had that other room. And that other room had oh boy. Oh boy. So the other room, it was my stepdaughter's room. And when they moved out, that became the G.I. Joe room. So we had the brick bar. We had heard that this guy, he used to literally drive his big truck into the backyard and like he acted like they said the couple acted like they like lived in the country and they'd pull their stuff in the back. Again, I'm an N unit. We have a big yard, especially for like a townhouse. But so obviously he hosted people or whatever. So that room over there, we couldn't figure certain things out. So if you're talking about the small little door, that just goes underneath the steps. Okay. So it just goes underneath the steps. So you can put some storage there. Um, if you notice where the headquarters are, that wall just goes back, right? But before there used to be like we knocked it down so you could step into it. It's only about 2 feet deep, maybe a foot, 18 inches deep, and it had like a foot wall here. It had like 2 rows of glass block underneath it. Had power underneath it, but no shelving. We couldn't figure out what it was. Couldn't figure out what it was for the life of us. We also couldn't understand the Willy Wonka door, as you guys have pointed out, because the lock is on the outside of the door, which didn't make a lot of sense. So I'm at work one day. And my ex shoots me a message and says, "This is what my dad found up in the rafters, hidden." And it was like this wood swing. It was this wood swing with just like yellow twine rope that held it that like and it dropped down. And she's like, that used to be a sex room. And then it kind of all came together. The door underneath the steps that had the lock on the outside. The place where I put the headquarters. It has a light above it. There was no shelving. You couldn't put shelving in it. And then when I spoke with somebody and I was talking to them, they said, you know what? Back in the 70s, they would have sex rooms like that. Like they would have these parties. He goes, I guarantee you that brick bar was there to entertain everyone while there was something going on over there. And my ex was like, Dad, I don't know why there's a swing there. But we ripped the fucking thing down, cut it down, got rid of it. But it was like we couldn't figure this out. And then it was like the end of the movie when they start showing everything and you're like, oh my god, it all came together. So we finally pieced it together and we're like, that used to be a sex room. That used to be and it's our daughter's room. um but and like it wasn't like this, and like the swing was not like some like comfortable leather swing. It was just this wood swing and it just hung down, and there was just so much, and this guy did everything on his own. um and now it's a GI Joe room. um Now it's a GI Joe room. uh I don't think I ever thought I'd talk about that on here. But um yeah. But yeah, so that's what the Willy Wonka door is. You must have said the Willy Wonka door, and I didn't know what the hell you were talking about on uh, when you commented on the video. But yeah, so that's the story of that room. And then what someone had explained to me, because the brick bars, I mean, it's really nice. I mean, however he did it, it's real nice, but you can't tear it down. And I have a gym on the other side, or I have weights and stuff, and it's so hard to adjust. So, I never thought I'd be telling that story here. So, it says, as Skyfall says, it was a toy room from the start. Yes, that's. Listen, sorry, I have not been able to read the comments. I'm seeing them kind of come up there. Crusty old crow. There has to be a gimp mask under a rug there somewhere. All that stuff was ripped out, man. All that shit was ripped out. Um, the fact that, and here's the whole thing. When my father-in-law found the swing, we had lived here for years. It wasn't like we were just moving in. We had lived here for years. It was just tucked way back in there, and there was no reason to really pull down the ceiling tile other than when we were looking, trying to route some things. And I think he was trying to fix the water going out, and that's when he had found it, and he didn't know what it was. So uh yeah, it's yeah, just yep. Anyway, there, you guys got something out of me that I didn't even think that I would have ever talked about. How I kind of forgot about it. I wish I still had the picture. I wonder if my ex still has it. I should see if she still has it, um or has the picture. I know she doesn't have this. Anyway, so yeah, there is more to his GI Joe room, I guess, than just a GI Joe room. So, let's say hi to Bill. Ain't nobody buying that mothership. No, it sure doesn't look like it. And Largo's Lair, nice to see you here again. Really good channel. Check out Largo if you haven't yet. Anyway, enough about the GI Joe slash old sex room. Not my sex room though. All right, not my sex room. All right. So let's get into a little bit of the actual toy news. All right. Yeah. Now I'm waiting for the sex bots to start showing up. Yeah, that's welcome to Punk with Toys After Dark. That's yes, we're gonna have to get Naked HD in here. All right. You guys are funny. Like, yeah, we're getting real toy news. Punk's red room. Punk used the swing. He's just trying to front. Actually, he had ripped it down before I even saw it. Like before I even got home to see it, it was he had cut it down because Susan like just yeah, just cut it down. Like there's no reason for it. Like, but I'm telling you, it was like the end of a movie where like all the flash, all the flashes are coming. You're like, oh my god, it was so obvious. Well, it was obvious, just it wasn't obvious at that point. All right. Let's get into a little bit of McFarlane news. We're 30 minutes into it. If anyone wants to learn how to do a long live stream, that's how you do it. You waste 30 minutes. People are still here. 58 people. We should have at least 58 likes, right? Unless you have 2 accounts watching it. But hey, more people are gonna come in here. Do I like those gargoyles? You mean all the ones that I'm in on, Travis? Yes, I love the gargoyles. I haven't seen any new ones. If there's any new ones, I don't know about those yet. Anyway, McFarlane dropped some stuff as he always does, and we're gonna start with figures for Tony. So there's this Batman dressed in Robin colors. I guess if you were always like, you know what, I really like Batman, but I need him in Robin colors, but with a purple cape, well, you got your wish. Todd has jumped in and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to make sure you have this. So anyway, if you need this, here it is. I don't know why anyone needs this. Maybe there's a story to it. There's a story to it. Feel free to jump in. Tell me what it is. Yeah. Travis, are you just realizing I collect gargoyles? It's like one of the big things on the channel. Cap says, as you know, Punk, I'm a new subscriber. I travel back to your first skating, to your first video skating. Thank you very much. I used to move really well. I can still skate. I don't embarrass myself, not yet. We'll find out on the 29th for my skate birthday at the skate park. So I just skated last week, so I know I can still do what what I need to do. But thank you very much. And then we have a gold Batman. Now, if I remember correctly, this used to be one of the Batman in the old DC lines. Largo says there's definitely a story to it. He's a Batman from either an alternate reality or when Bruce Wayne goes insane, depending on which story you read. Yeah, I figured there was probably a story, Largo. I'm going to call you Larkin, probably because of, well, I used to moderate a channel with a guy named Larkin, and the Detroit Red Wings captain is Larkin. So don't take offense when I call you Larkin, Logo. I caught myself, and I know you guys caught me doing it a bunch of times too. So we have this gold Batman. I would say he is just a repaint of this Batman. Oh no, he's got a different head. Oh my God, stop! I just let you out. You want to say hi to everyone? Come upside. All right, look at it. Oh, how you? All right, everyone loves you. Okay, everyone loves you, but we're not doing this right now. All right, I literally went down to let you out so you wouldn't do this. Go lay down on the bed. Go lay down. But if you need a gold Batman superpowers, here it is. The Lilith says, Golden Bond Batman had show off his bling bling. I think the design looks good and Impossible. I think you're saying it. I think the design looks good, like the head and everything. I just, I don't really care for these crazy colors and stuff like this, but to each their own, man. I mean, they're $10-$12 depending on where you get them at. We have a gold Flash. So if you were like, hey, you know what? I just can't stand the red Flash or the yellow Flash, who is the reverse Flash, I believe, right? You can get a gold Flash. Because I know every morning I'm like, please, McFarlane, give me a gold Flash. Because if there's anything I need in this life, it's a gold Flash. And someone will probably say there was a story with it. But from what I can tell, it looks like it's just a repaint. Now, I don't understand why he does stuff like this. I really don't. I kind of understand it with the big stuff, but there's so many characters that you could do without just doing repaints, or doing repaints of colors that people, like and stuff. So, um, no, I'm not at the hot flash yet. I think my ex might be, but not my problem. All right, so let's get to these. Now, I actually have these Justice League figures. I do have the black and white one, believe it or not. When I met my ex, her daughter was all into Justice League and stuff like that. And so we collected these, and these actually sit downstairs in a big bucket of mine because they don't have pegs. So if anyone is doing stands and wants to make stands where they kind of have a hook that you can put your feet under, that would be really awesome because they don't have pegs. So you can't really stand them on anything. But I always like this color. It's not your typical Superman, of course. And, again, I don't think you really can beat when it comes to Superman the regular colors, the blue and red and yellow. But I just think this white and black does work. I think it looks really good. So, but like I said, I have it, and I would love to just kind of display those again because they really did mean a lot. Like it was something that her and I get to bond over because her mom didn't care about anything like that. And we have a lot of those uh, Justice League Unlimited figures. So, but again, 10, $12 if you like the way it looks, awesome. Now I don't collect these, but if I was, this is one that I would be going for. Um, Cap, I like this. Yeah, McFarlane needs to get rid of pins. Yeah, good luck on that. The guy is like the most stubborn guy in the world. I think this looks really good. I always liked Green Lantern. There is something very special about Green Lantern, in my opinion. Like all the Green Lanterns, again, you have Warner Brothers and DC. They sit on what could be a total gold mine of movies that they could be doing because it doesn't have to be Hal Jordan. It doesn't have to be John Stewart. It could be Kilowog. It could be Sinestro before he becomes part of uh, you know, the um, the Yellow Lantern. I mean, there could be so many stories. And once again, DC doesn't know what to do with such an awesome property, and it's disappointing. I mean, hell, but like all these, you have all these movies that have a stupid fish man in it, but you don't have any of the Green Lanterns. I mean, you do have a Green Lantern movie, but let's be honest. As much as I liked it, it was entertaining. It wasn't the greatest movie. Um, but again, I do like this. I think it looks really good. I do believe they did already do a John Stewart. I love John Stewart. I think he's my favorite Green Lantern just because of Justice League, like Justice League Unlimited. But I love the Hal Jordan. I think it just works. So you got this nice packaging, and I really do like the packaging. Again, this is stuff that's going to bring you back to your childhood. And again, these are ones you can collect too if you want to keep them on package and open them. Again, I don't want to say too much because I'm not planning on opening my Coco. And here's something I kind of want to mention. This is a crazy idea. Look at this. There's like a file card on the back, little synopsis about the actual character. If only other companies could do something like this, it would be awesome. So, and then you have Sinestro. Say what you want about that Green Lantern movie. The actor that played Sinestro was so absolutely perfect. I hate when they get things perfect, yet the movies aren't good. You look at the G.I. Joe movie, Scarlet was just cast perfect. Snake Eyes was cast perfect. Storm Shadow was just perfect. They had some great casting, just such bad bad writing, bad movies. There's only so much that you can say. And again, here's the here's the cover of it. Again, it all looks good. It takes you back to that childhood, the feeling that you were when you were a kid. So now oops, I quickly showed this, I think last week when I was discussing it. Who needs this? But there is a story to it, and this is a color scheme, or kind of the color scheme, for his first appearance. Obviously, it's not going to be the same because McFarlane, he's not going to redo the whole figure, but he's going to try and do a paint scheme to homage it, and then later on he'll probably do an actual figure to make it like that. But again, it's just you look at Batman, you're like, all right, but you still get Robin. It's like, where the fuck was he running around in panties? I mean, at least like these other guys had the decency to wear tights under their panties. He just is running around in his green little panties. Um, so, but this is the black light edition, and I like the way this looks here. Now these are Entertainment Earth exclusives, I do believe. I like that it gives you the black light because who the hell has black lights these days? No one. Well, I guess some people do. But they are, I mean, they give you that feel that they are like, that it's ice, that it's cold. So I think it looks really good. I like this idea. This is definitely something that shouldn't just be battery operated. It should just have a plug. So you can just leave it on the whole time. Like, you always want your glow in the dark to be on all the time, but it's gonna fade out. Except for Scare Glow. Scare Glow goes almost the whole fucking night. So here you go. Again, if this is something you're interested in, it's there. I do like the art that they did. I like the homage. A lot of people say a lot of things about McFarlane, myself included. The guy does put a lot of time into what he's doing and picking out some characters that like you're not really gonna think too much of, and the stuff's always selling. It's always gone. So they threw out a BBTS exclusive of Red Hood. Now my son absolutely loves Red Hood. I do believe this might be another repaint, but I just think it looks really good. Uh, nice holsters for no guns. We do actually have a Red Hood with the guns that came with Nightwing. But I just think this looks really good. It has the card, the stand that goes with it. So if you're into Red Hood, there you go. You can get another one. Now there are a lot more Red Hood figures. When my son really got into it, no one knew who it was. He's dressing up as Red Hood for for Halloween. No one knows who it is. I think it's Batman because of the symbol, but there you go. Yeah, whiskey. Yeah, yeah. The red looks really nice. When you get that shiny red hood, like it really does pop. And I like that everything else is really more of a matte looking to it, but the mask just looks awesome. I'm with you. Now I normally wouldn't say something like that, but I just think that there is something about that just it pops. All right. Oh, and NECA. Okay, so this is not something we normally discuss too much. Now, obviously, we do go over NECA stuff, but this is. I just drew a blank. Oh shit! I totally drew a blank. Assassin's Creed, and I was on the phone with Tony actually when this thing popped. I'm like, damn, this thing looks really really nice. So Assassin's Creed figure from NECA. This is one, again, I don't know how many they're going to do. This is one that I could see just kind of picking up, throwing it back here, putting it next to Spawn or something like that. I just think it looks really good. NECAs aren't the greatest figures for articulation. That's for sure. Most of them are really on a Super 7 Ultimates uh, wave, other than the gargoyles, where they give you a lot of articulation for the most part. But again, they're just everything's double jointed. No, no, everything's pinned. So, but yeah. So I think this thing looks really good. I was excited when I saw it, and it's just everything about it looks really good. And again, if you collect Dungeons and Dragons, Mythic Legions, all this type of stuff, you can fit this with it very easily. And that's kind of what I like about a lot of the stuff that we're seeing when it comes to like Mythic Legions, the Dungeons and Dragons. Even though I'm not a big collector of it, you can easily, put these things in there. So, Ray Paz says the NECA Predators are pretty good too, articulation wise. Yeah, I've never had any. I've never had any. Yet I don't know why. I mean, I know why. I don't collect Predator, and they never really go on sale. But those are definitely those things where like the AWOC figures, like you can use them to attack, like in photo shoots for GI Joe or whatever, GI Joe, Marvel, different things like that. So I could definitely see myself picking one up like that. So, but okay, so the Lilith says it's from Assassin's Creed Revelations, and his name is Izio. The Lilith, I got Assassin's Creed right. I got Assassin's Creed right. I'm happy about that. All right. But again, here's all the photos of it. Again, this just looks really good. I'm impressed by this, to be honest. This is something I definitely would enjoy. And Jason, yeah, G.I. Joe vs. Predator. Listen, let's be honest. If they did a G.I. Joe vs. Predator movie, it'd probably be better than all the Predator movies other than the first Predator and all the G.I. Joe movies. I already know it'd be better than all the G.I. Joe movies because, well, the G.I. Joe movies weren't good. But who wouldn't want to see the Predator going up against Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes? How great would that be? See? It's like the shit just writes itself. There wouldn't be no hooded Cobra Commander, though. We have to make sure that no Predators have hoods because they might be compared to a racist group out there. Anyway, all these shots of him, and they obviously did, I mean, I know they've done packaging like this before in NECA, but to me, this is one of those ways they get away with cutting costs. And I don't have a problem with it. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but you kind of cut the cost so you don't have the open window or anything like that. I mean, it's like the fold out with the open window. They're just showing you a Assassin's Creed. And look, it says right there, Revelations. And then here's the back of the box that gives you a little description of everything. So, again, if you're into Assassin's Creed, or if you just like a medieval looking figure, a medieval / ninja looking figure, there you guys go. Just don't give it to your kids because it won't last very long. Promise you, it would not last very long in a kid's hand. Here's everything that he does come with. Although they show you the hands and they show you the crossbow, but you can't see the sword and the knife, and they clearly do have it. Not to mention around the arms, you can see where it comes out. So, or the wrist, shall I say? Anyway, all right, Boss Fight Studios. Now we discussed this, but they dropped some pictures today, and oof, I had to add these because I had everything done. All right, hold on quickly. I want to say, Cobra Commander says first Predator is the best G.I. Joe movie we ever got. Yeah, pretty much. I guess saying having a G.I. Joe versus Predator movie, we kind of already got that. It's a shame that we couldn't have got Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime in a G.I. Joe movie. I mean, I know he would have played because his accent makes it kind of hard to be American. Although he has been in all the damn military movies. So, all right. So they drop pictures of this, and so Red Sonja. I had this picture up. We talked about it last week or maybe the week before. I think from what we're seeing here, this looks awesome. And then the actual figure dropped. So Thanos says, oh, sorry. No shot of the butt disappointing. Do you think that's maybe because they had to go back and redo it and they're like, ooh, this will not work for Thanos Wednesday and Friday editions? um, just looking at this, I think this thing looks awesome. If it's an epic hack, I believe it's probably going to run either $35 to $40. I don't think it's going to be too expensive. Boss Fight Studios does not seem to overprice their figures like some. And what I saw at PowerCon, these things look like they're going to be really nice looking figures, articulation wise and everything. So she's not wearing much, but I don't think people want to see her wearing very much. Here you kind of get the first action pose. The first thing that I went to was the knees, just to, I don't know, I guess that whole thing with the people flipping out about the Motu Origins and female knees being a problem. So I kind of just, how do the knees look? And but I think this looks awesome. I really do, and I have nothing for Red Sonja. Like, there's not like, oh my god, I have to have it. I have to have everything Red Sonja, but it looks good. So here's everything that she comes with. So you're looking at 3 different head sculpts, a couple different chain panties, axe, sword, knife. What we got? 6 different hands, different gauntlets. I mean, this is a nice looking figure. Now, I'm kind of looking at all this stuff. I'm wondering if it is going to be a higher price point because I think most of their stuff has been running around $40. I could definitely see this being 50. I could definitely see this being in the Mythic Legions realm. So Bruce says she'll work with the Master. I don't think she will because Masterverse is a 7-inch scale. These, I believe, are all 6-inch scale. So I don't think it's going to fit with Masterverse. I could be completely wrong because obviously, females are normally shorter. And Sergeant Red pops in and says, "Hey, it's Red. I don't know if you want your wife running around and stuff like that, Red. I'm just saying. It's your wife. I don't think you want her running around your store." But I definitely do see the comparison in the face for sure. Now that you said it. Odin says, "I'm really excited for Epic Hacks doing human figures in general, even if they scale up a lot of existing 1/18 scale. I don't think they're upscale too much. Mega J, is she 6 or 7? It's always funny when it's 1/12 scale. I believe these were all 6-inch scales because I wish Ed was here because I think Ed and I were both looking at these at the same time when we were looking at PowerCon. I believe they're all 6-inch scale. Well, anyone that has the skeletons, they should know. But yeah, I think those are all 6-inch scale. So I think this is going to be based on a 6-inch scale. I really, again, the comment about it's funny about the 1/12 scale. You never know if it's 6 or 7 inch. It is. It's kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, you get the 1/18 scale, and it's like, is it 3.75, or is it 4-inch, or is it a 4.1 inch? Like, what the hell's the name? We're gonna get to it soon. Haya Toys, where they do like 1.4, and when you're talking something that small, there is a huge difference. That 1/2 inch is That half inch is huge. That's what she said. Um, so yeah, I'm excited, man. Looking at all the stuff that Boss Fight was showing off at PowerCon, oh, damn it. Um, okay, wait. Oh, so Odin is saying pre-order is live. It's $49.99. So yeah, I didn't even look. You know what? They did say that. They did say she was up. I didn't realize she was up for pre-order. And I see Mega J comes in. Oh, that's what he said. That does happen too. But anyway, I know we discussed this. I just think the face sculpt, at least what they're showing here, looks absolutely amazing. And Boss Fight Studios, again, I think they do a really good job with the stuff that I've seen, even with their 1/18 scale stuff. I just think the stuff looks really, really good. So I can only imagine the scale that you can put in. No, I think Boss Fight Studios just put it up first. So I would assume that it would be going up everywhere. I don't know. Again, I don't know why you would hold anything like this back. I mean, this thing is just. Again, this thing is beautiful, to be honest. I mean, I just think this thing looks really, really good. So, all right. And then the Four Horsemen dropped something. Now, if someone knows in the comments, please let me know. Let me know what it was, because they said like they weren't planning on showing this yet, but they felt they had to. Um, they felt like they just had to show it because the head got out. I don't know how it leaked out. You're a small company. You handle your own stuff. It doesn't leak. So, anyone know the name of this? Again, it turns out, because I was watching the Foosh, this is an homage to an older toy line. So you can see like the skeleton, and he's got like the black suit on. It looks a lot like a Motu figure. So yeah, and Sarge says, yeah, we carry boss fight stuff. They make good figs. Yeah, they really do. The skeletons, I kind of wish I would have grabbed them. Well, I mean, I guess I still could. I just have so much shit I don't even know what to do with. Thanos. Thank you very much. Thanos Copters. Remco Warrior Beast Skullman. So I didn't put any side by side in here because there's really no comparing them except for the color scheme of them. Again, this is a Mythic Legion. It looks amazing. Like every Mythic Legion, they do a wonderful job. When you buy Mythic Legion, yeah, you are paying a premium. You don't get great articulation, but you're buying the paint, the sculpt. They don't make mistakes like the other companies, like the company that laid off 900 people or is laying off 900 people. Merry Christmas. Um, okay, it's a con exclusive. Zolakan dropping the ball. That's how it leaked. Okay, all right. Well, again, I only know so much. I see things that I like, and that's what I put in. And I expect, and can't I say I expect? I hope some of you can fill me in. And thank you, Thanos Copter, for filling me in, because I know you know about that type. You know about these types of figures. I don't think I'm going to ask you to fill me in on G.I. Joe figures. I don't think that's your forte. But if I ever want to find out what the size of Fisto Slong is, I know who to ask. And here's the back shot. And I just do this in because, again, their capes are just really nice. Again, Mythic Legions, if you don't have one, you should own one just to know what it is. I really do. I really do believe that. I believe that with most companies, that you should pick up a figure if you're a toy collector, just to see what they have to offer. Because again, Mythic Legions do a wonderful job, and I mean, you don't have to go down that rabbit hole like so many people think you do. But yeah, you're here. Like you know what? Check these things out. So that's why this got leaked. Thank you very much, Thanos Copter. does help when someone can fill me in. All right, so before we get to G.I. Joe here, because we're going to be covering a lot of Monster Force, it's coming out of Fresh Monkey Fiction, and again, that is BBTS exclusive. That's Big Bad Toy Store. So anyone that is a G.I. Joe collector here that's watching that isn't a toy collector, listen, there are other places to get stuff other than Amazon and Hasbro Pulse. Entertainment Earth, BBTS, if you are so concerned about stuff being damaged, you can go other places and get it, and it will be delivered properly. And I'm not talking about your local store. A lot of people don't have local stores, unfortunately. Oh, I gotta say hi to Zoran really quick. Zoran, Zoran, I hope you watched my room tour because I made sure to highlight the Slugger. All right, I highlighted the Slugger. I gave you a shout out to show you that, hey, look, here is a Slugger. I know you like the Slugger. All right, so Fresh Monkey Fiction once again is doing this naughty or nice. These are BBTS exclusives. I don't fully understand why they're doing pre-orders before Christmas, so you won't have them till next Christmas. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But this is the same thing they did last year, and some of the stuff doesn't fund, and then it seems like next year they just come around and do it again. Okay, so John says we are local and ship. So listen, if you guys aren't following Sergeant Rez on Instagram and on YouTube, you need to. Again, I've mentioned it before. Not to mention, we're going to be talking soon about him because he's going to be going. His store is going to be on a toy store near you, Christmas Eve, Amazon, I believe. Right? Funny thing is, it'll look completely different in that than what it looks like now because he's done so much to it. And John, I promise you, we are going to be talking about it for sure because that's my store. Like that's my store. Like I go there. Like I know that guy. I feel like Buddy the Elf. I know that guy. Anyway, if you do like Christmas toys, maybe you want to put your toys away, put your Christmas decorations out around Christmas time. All right, you take the toys down. Well, here you go. You can have a whole toy display of actual Santa. You can have reindeer. You have reindeer heads. Or maybe you just maybe you're just a bah humbug guy, but you have to still celebrate Christmas for your kids. You can have a zombie reindeer head. You can have Krampus here. There's a Krampus. I don't know what's different with Krampus and Krampus, but there is. You can have your G.I. Joe, your military naughty or nice Santa Claus. So there's so many different things, and so many different accessories. And I do wonder how well these will actually mix with Monster Force because I can't wait to get the. Everyone was waiting for the Monster Force, but anyway, a lot of these are pre-order. Again, I don't know why you're pre-ordering this stuff so far. Like, I'm not gonna pre-order this stuff if I want Christmas decorations. Like, yeah, I can get a bunch of the Santa Clauses here. Not a bunch, a few of them at least. And I know a lot of stuff you have to get before next year, but I just don't understand why this isn't happening in June, so you can get it in December. November, December. So. Whiskey says, I have Pirate, Cyborg, Sergeant, and regular Santa. So, Risky, what do you think of them? Like, how do you actually think they are? Like, how do you actually think the figures are? Quickly, I want to say hi to McMurphy. I want to say hi to Bullwinkle 80. And I know I saw Baldy. I don't want anyone to think I'm ignoring them. All right, I'm not ignoring anyone. If I missed anyone, I apologize. I didn't. If you didn't watch the beginning of the show, then you don't know. But yeah. Once again, I'm not ignoring you. Not ignoring anyone. Um, okay. Anyway, so yeah, if you like these, again, a lot of repaints, whatever. I'm just talking. I'm just talking. That's how I do things. So, oh yeah, so yeah, I did see this too. The 1990. Yeah, I didn't. They're called the pocket ones, right? They were called. What were they called? Like it was pocket something. Yeah, the Naughty or Nice collection, pocket collection. I was like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, look, they're even making 1/18 scale because you don't want to upset people that are not 1/12 scale collectors. They might get upset, and then you know we got a war about Santa Clauses, and not my Santa Claus. My Santa Claus is now 6 inches. I think most people say that about their priests, that they're not 6 inches. Anyway, boy, this stream is all over the fucking place. McMurphy, yo, punk, your lives are fun. Keep them coming. Hey, dude. Hey, listen, I put it on for the first time. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot. I gotta get rid of this. But anyway, if you guys want Santa, listen, this is episode 53. I know I was supposed to make a big deal about 50. I went right by 50. I didn't even realize it. I kind of knew. I think I went past it, but it was before I even named the show. But yeah, this is episode 53. I actually just put it there. I know I was supposed to do some big thing and have like a big show and have people tell me how great I was that I made it through 50. That's only working 50 days, right? That's literally not even full days. It's like celebrating that you've been at your job for almost 2 months, but you only worked 3 to 4 hours. And I wasn't even doing 3 hours at the beginning. So yeah, so I celebrate. Ooh, big 53. Maybe we'll do a big celebration for 54. I don't know. I literally did go back and count up. I'm like, but I knew I went over it because there's 52 weeks in a year, and I've only missed one Monday all year. So I knew that. Yeah, I knew it was over 50. Anyway, whew. Okay. So let's get to a little G.I. Joe news before we get to the classified news. And Haya has Haya dropped a figure today because normally they seem to drop a figure every Monday. They usually drop it right around the time that I'm getting off. Not like that, you sick bastards. This guy have a former sex room in my basement. So anyway, Gung Ho, clearly the classified version. I mean, classified all the way down to the guns. Talk about Haya like not knowing how to course correct and get rid of the guns. Although I think the guns don't look as bad in small form. Now I do have to say this. I really like the blue and the black accents. It just does not match the green. I think the figure actually looks pretty good from what I can tell. But why you decided to throw now, and again, if you look at the back of the box, you know that this is how it's actually supposed to look. But you should have gone either all green or all blue. But this is really, I mean, they are truly going by what the designs were supposed to be. And I would love to know like how, like, what is the agreement between Hasbro and Haya? Because it's like they literally just sent over, hey, you know what? These were the classified concepts. This is what we're doing. And they're just making the exact same thing. So I think the figure looks good figure wise. I don't like the color scheme together. It just doesn't seem to make sense. I'm just kind of reading through some of these comments. So yeah, Bick says he looks pretty cool to me. I think he looks. I just don't like the colors, and they don't look awful. I don't know. There's just something. Maybe because there's like really dark black accents on the blue, but then everything is kind of faded out on the green. Also, kind of a sniper's dream, to be honest. I mean, here's this nice blue, and you kind of have camouflage the rest of the way. So now you have the same guns. So you have the same laser guns, the laser. It looks like a rocket launcher. Uh, that's what it's supposed to be, is a rocket launcher, although it's a laser. But again, these are these are 1/18 scale, so they're 1.4. So Matthew says the face sculpt is trash. Well, let's get to it and see. I mean, from what I can see here, the face, I don't think the face looks all that bad. He does have some pretty skinny legs. I don't think he's I think he's missing leg day, that's for damn sure. But he has everything. I mean, he's just classified. Now they were talking about his on the full force when they were talking about it. They kind of discussed that his arms seem kind of small. I don't think so here, but it's hard to tell. Maybe there's another shot. I think the arms look fine. Now these things are kind of long, like they're big. They're 4 point. Well, yeah, they're 4.1. I would assume he's probably maybe even a little bit bigger because Gung Ho is such a big buck. But he has everything that came with the classified. They only give him an extra set of hands. A hat does not seem to be removable, and a stand, which all kind of connect. So, if you wanted a classified version of the first Gung Ho that nobody wanted in 1/18 scale, you got it. See, I think this is where Haya really needed to do. I mean, if I was in charge of Haya, if I was, doing this, I think I would have taken some of the cues, looked at what the Joe team did, and certain ones I wouldn't have done. Like, I don't think, I mean, again, I would have done a different color scheme here. I would have changed out the weapons instead of giving the same weapons that everyone absolutely hates. Now, the black looks way better than the stupid silver that came with the Gung Ho. But, it's the Major Blood. Okay. All day long, man. Cobra Infantry or Cobra Island Trooper, all day long. I think those things look awesome. But, and then you look at like all the highest stuff. The Cobra Commander is very classic looking, where these ones aren't at all. So, anyway, it's there. If you're interested, go pick it up. All right. That's really all the news that we had, other than the classified stuff that we're about to get into. Now, I apologize if you watched on Friday and you're going to say, well, we've already heard your opinion, but I tried. I really did try. I hope it comes out. I hope it shows that I try. I want other people to speak when I have other people on here. I noticed a lot of times on that stream, I would say, hey, what are your guys' thoughts? And the three people were waiting for me to kind of point to one of them and say, hey, Ryan, let's start with you, or Bobby. I did it most of the time, but and then everyone would be quiet, and I'm like, should I say their name now or hope that someone just steps in? So, but with me, I'm just going to talk myself. So, before we get into this, I do want to discuss some other G.I. Joe stuff that drives me nuts. And I've discussed this before, but it's getting worse. And that's the Facebook groups. And Jeremy, if you're in, man, you run one of the bigger ones. These G.I. Joe collectors, I don't know if they're stupid or if they're trolls. What the fuck they are. What they are is annoying as shit. Talk about not just doing a little bit of research. And they just expect everyone to tell them, where they should go. I'm blown away by how many people they're aggravated that Pulse has sold out of something. Oh my God, Pulse is sold out. Amazon is sold out. And Jeremy's going, you can go to Entertainment Earth or BBTS and get those right, like pre-order them right now. They're up there. And I understand there's always new people coming in. There's just no way that there's that many new people that are coming in that are showing you their hordes of figures, and they don't know to go to BBTS or Entertainment Earth. And I'm sorry, Hella Dope Toys and Nerdzork and Sergeant Reds, but I'm just like those are the big online retailers that if you're any type of toy collector, you would know about. Or the His Take. These people asking questions that they don't know. It drives me nuts that people just, and I've mentioned this before. Just do some fucking research. It drives me nuts when my son won't do some research on some shit. He expects me to do it. It's like, why would I do research on it? You want to know the answer. You're the one with the question. I don't give a shit. You go do the research and then come back with me, and then you and I can discuss it. And if we have to, we can figure it out together. If you can't find it, that's one thing. Baldy knows exactly what I'm talking about because I see him always starting shit with them. Entitlement makes you complain about stupid things. Google is your friend. It's almost like you're pointing that at me. That I'm kind of complaining about something stupid right now. That I call you Fatrid? Okay, Todd, you are absolutely right. There's also trolls that disguise themselves as Joe fans to make Joe community look bad. Okay. Yes and no. I mean, I'm not saying that's not true, but there are a lot of people that are, again, they're in there. Like, you see them and they're asking dumb shit because, like Baldy said, Google is your friend. Fucking Google it. I mentioned a couple weeks ago there was someone who posted two pictures. There's a Valaverse and a classified, and he was asking about the drop down hips. And he's like, "Can somebody explain to me what the drop down hips is, the benefits, and everything?" Right? To me, that's something that you ask because it's going to be hard to find. Right? You're not going to Google drop down hips and find out an answer. He was specifically asking a question, not in a dickhead way, not in a lazy ass way. He was just like, "Hey, can someone explain this to me?" I have no problem with that. That's someone new to the line that's trying to figure things out. I had to figure out what the hell that was, And if you don't know who to follow, then that's one thing. But, and again, if someone came in and they didn't know, like, hey, if they Googled, hey, you know what? I'm looking, I'm trying to pre-order the Techno Viper, and it's sold out, but it's showing that it's available on Entertainment Earth and BBTS or Big Bad Toy Store. Are these legit sites? Has anyone ever ordered from them? Right? All right, cool. Then it's like, yeah, you know what? They're legit, but you didn't even go that far. So, and I know there are trolls, and again, I'm on that site enough. Then there's certain guys, and there's one guy. He uses it just to sell his fucking shit. And if I see another goddamn fucking post of fucking his with his name on it and his date and how much he fucking wants for it, I'm gonna fucking scream. Though then again, people probably say the same thing when they see me post my review is up. But I'm sorry, like I don't go to like a G.I. Joe Classified Facebook group to try and buy stuff. All right, go on eBay, go to Mercari, whatever it is. Go sell it there, man, or start your own fucking group to sell shit. But I guess it must be for the rules they let it, right? Matthew, staying out of this, I stir up too much shit all the time for calling people out for their stupid shit. Listen, I don't have a problem. Listen, wholeheartedly, I've backed off because of what I'm doing. All right, I'm here. I'm working. I'm trying to make this as professional as I can till I get pissed off. And yeah, I get it. Because I used to be the big shit starter too. All right, I had one hit on my channel this week. It blew my mind how much of a dick he was. Yeah, like, yeah, it's just again. And Matthew says there was a guy complaining about the Valorous weapon packs with. Oh yes. Yes, with the expended pistols firing pistols. It was clear in the package, reviews, descriptions. I pointed out, please read and do some research. Yes. So I understand. Like I kind of like I don't want those because I don't do a lot of shots like that, and that's not how I want all my figures. But when they were complaining, they're like, and someone was like, all those pistols have been released, right? The regular pistols. Now he's doing something different, so he's not giving you the same thing over and over and over. And I do applaud him for doing something like that, right? He's like, all right, you know what? There's a lot of people that like to do, dioramas where they've emptied the last round. They're going to do pictures like this. That's why there's smoke effects, right? It is cool to complain about it. And I know exactly what post you're talking about because I read that fucking post. It's like you can get those guns, right? I mean, hell, I still believe that he has like 90 fucking weapons up there. That big canister for like $90, right? Or $80, something like that. But yeah, that's yeah, that drives me nuts. Mega J, great stream, Lawrence. Thank you. Guys, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you very much. Yes, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. I don't think that you guys realize. Actually, most of you probably do. At least the guys and gals that have been around for a while. That like button definitely does help. It pushes out the algorithm, and believe me, if people weren't doing it, I don't think the channel would have nearly grown to what it is today. But Matthew, I know exactly what post you're talking about, and you're right. Do a little bit of research, and it's not like, listen, I've touched on my feelings with Valaverse and Action Force and everything, right? It's not like he has 2 fucking boxes of weapons, and one of them are pistols that are emptied, right? Like there's like 5 or 6 different sets before you even get to that. So yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Random jumps in. What's up, Larry? I'm here ready to buy the mothership. Well, you should. You're just gonna get your money back eventually because it ain't gonna fucking fund. um, it is very difficult to source stuff out. It is very difficult to source stuff for us outside of the U.S. because shipping can get very expensive. So it doesn't hurt to ask for recommendations from fellow fans, but many local ones do hate keep that. I'm not really sure what you're saying with it. I don't have a problem with questions. Like, I don't have a problem with questions. I have a problem with people that don't take the time to research anything themselves. So listen, we all had to come in and learn somehow, right? We all did. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was never ever that guy that came through and saw some new fucking kid skateboarding and said, "You're a fucking poser. You don't know how to fucking skate. Why are you here?" Right? We all started somewhere. I talk to kids today, and they're like, I'm like, listen, we were all there. Not one of us jumped on this skateboard and knew what we were doing. Not one of us. All right. I don't want to fall in front of people. Listen, you're doing the wrong thing if you're scared to fall in front of people because we've all fallen in front of people. No one laughs. Anyone that laughs at you, they're an asshole. That's just it, right? So I don't have a problem with people asking. I don't have a problem with new people asking questions. I just want people to do a little bit of research. In a lot of the things that I'm talking about, and again, I don't have examples right now. Just go look at all the Hiss Tank stuff and people complaining about certain things. Again, it's just like, take your time, just do a little bit of research, and then if you have a question, then come and ask. But you also listen. If you have half a brain, you can see who's trolling, who's just lazy, and who's actually asking a legit question. So, Shark Eye says we all have smartphones. The problem is that a whole bunch of people are lazy and can't think for themselves. No, dude. I go through this with the other male in this house, and I'm like, fucking Google it. And he's like, I don't know what to Google. I don't know. just start Googling something that you think is close to what you're looking for. Something will pop up. Skip through all the porn because there's some sort of porn about it, I'm sure. Skip through that and then get to whatever you're looking for. And then if you still can't figure it out, then you and I can. But why am I going to have a better idea of it than you? So, um, yeah, and let me Google that for you. Um, you know, for now on, when people start asking dumb questions like that, I remember back in the day when people would ask a question and I'd say, yeah, well, why don't you call 555-1212? That was information. We just need to start dropping Google, like a link to Google. Like, here you go. Boom. All right. So let's talk about some of the G.I. Joe stuff that was shown off. But first, we'll start off with the. Hold on, I want to see what. Bruce is having a conversation with the Lilith, so I don't want to jump in there. Clint Jorgensen says, how come they never made a G.I. Joe character that was a skateboarder? Probably because no one ever skateboarded. I cringe every time. I mean, I did order that skateboard figure. I cringe when I see stuff like that. And I think it'd be kind of quirky. I mean, snowboarding is so common now. Everyone does it. Skiing, was always very popular, but they never made like anyone on rollerblades or anything like that. It'd be weird. I don't think G.I. Joe is the right avenue to have a skateboarder on there. To be 100% honest, I know there was a Kickstarter that had the female, but that whole story actually kind of makes sense. No hablo inglés. I'm sorry, no hablo español. I just speak English. I do not speak Spanish. All right. G.I. Joe Extreme 90 skateboard. Was there one? All right. So let's talk about these name only reveals. And now, yep, you know my feelings on Cobra Law. It's just not good. I hate that movie. I did think Nemesis Enforcer. I do remember that was really the only figure I kind of liked for the O-ring, and I still do have it. Oh wait, no, do I have Nemesis Enforcer still? I don't remember if I still have Nemesis Enforcer. No, I have the other one. I had him because I was doing a 3-pack. No, I'm sorry, Nemesis Immortal. Sorry. No, I'm 25% Mexican, but I'm born and bred here in the U.S. My dad was born here. He can't speak Spanish or Italian. He's mixed 100% or 50-50. And my grandmother could, but no, not me. Never. I did take Spanish in school. I thought it'd be easy. Yeah, I was wrong. Everyone speaks English, so no, I do not speak any. Okay. So anyway, you know my feelings on these things. I'm just not a fan of Cobra Law. I knew they were coming. I know that people love this movie. If I was running a G.I. Joe line, I would also make them because I know that people want them. And you can't just do things that you want. Again, going back to the people on Facebook who just don't, who are pissed off that they haven't finished with the OG-13 figures, and they're mad about it and why they haven't got all the dreadnoughts that they want. You can't just do what you want. You have to have a wide variety. Do I think this figure will look awesome? Probably. They really haven't had a bad figure. A couple bad face sculpts, yes. I would say there's a couple of design flaws, but look-wise, there aren't too many that look bad. And they've already said this thing's going to be huge. Now, I thought it'd be on like the Gung Ho Buck, maybe the Serpentor buck, make some modifications to it. I don't really want to see this bigger than Serpentor, because Serpentor is already giant. He towers, if I remember correctly, he towers over a roadblock. I mean, technically, I could pull him off and see right now. He's been on the air chariot since I got it, so I don't want to move him. But we were talking about it, and yeah, the question is, how are the wings going to be? Are they going to be just static, like the gargoyles, which are huge and very hard and rough, or will they make them so they kind of retract, or just give them two different, give them like two different types of, or two different size of wings? But if he's really that big, you're looking at maybe something on the size scale of the gargoyles. Now, the one thing that I would say about these figures, especially this guy here, is that he would fit perfect in your Mythic Legions or your Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that. Gargoyles. I mean, so there can be a place for him in maybe non-Joe collections too. Now, will I get them? Probably. If I'm still at the point where I have every single figure, then yeah, I will definitely get him. I mentioned before that I'll be a completist till I'm no longer a completist. And what I mean by that is when I finally miss a figure, then maybe I can kind of finally step back and be like, hey, I missed one. So I'm not excited over Cobra Law, but I also know that, you know what, they were coming. It was inevitable. It was like like Thanos. It was inevitable, right? It was coming. Yes, I fucked that word up. McMurphy says here, a streamer I watch has this guy who asked the host about release dates on irrelevant stuff. Show was talking about Joe's. When does Power Rangers X come out? We're chatting toys. We ain't customer service. McMurphy, I would just like to say that I do Thursday with a friend every other Thursday, and we will be discussing. We don't discuss just toys. We discuss them, right? Their life, and Matthew can can vouch and say if I'm wrong or not. I think it's at least every episode, at least one person comes in and starts talking Joe to me. Can the kids see we're not talking it? There was one guy, and he's actually a regular, and I finally had to say, hey, you know what? That's not what this is about. And he was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize it. But it's kind of like we're not talking Joe, or people are asking. That was another thing someone did recently. They were asking, when do these figures come out? Well, I don't know. Go to Hasbro Pulse, Entertainment Earth, BBTS, Hella Dope Toys, Nerdzoic, Amazon, any fucking where, and it will tell you when the release date is. Right? It's not that damn hard. I wanted to McMurphy. Let me just say, makes no sense. Your patience is amazing. Years ago, I don't think anyone would have ever said that. Right? I had to. Listen, as I became an adult, I've learned to change the way that I do things. You do have to have patience. A matter of fact, I was talking with Ken, and he was like, "You handle that very professionally." I was like, "Well, I mean, I'm just discussing things." So, all right. But thank you very much. That does mean a lot. Like, it means that I've evolved as a person, and again, I also know what I'm doing. I'm trying not to have 12 viewers every fucking show, right? And God bless anyone that does. I mean, that's cool. If you're doing your show, you're having a good time. I have actively admitted and said, I want to grow the channel. I want the channel to grow. I want the streams to grow. McMurphy, I mean, you may have been watching, but you're kind of new to like chatting, and it's great. It's great to get new people in here. Cap is fairly new. But then we got people like Viper Scout. Obviously, Matthew, Todd C. Like, these guys have been in here, Cobra Commander. So it's great. I want to keep growing the channel. So I know I have to have patience. All right. So now we have this guy and talk about having a thank you, Starduster. Had a complete fucking brain fart. Now, Lenny did mention that, hey, you know what? If you know how he came, there's going to be something to do with that. So I'm going to assume that this is probably going to be some sort of exclusive figure, and it will have some sort of backing that does some sort of backing that has an homage to the serial and how he was actually released. Now, this is a total repaint. They're just going to reuse the figures, uh, reuse the molds, which what they do anyway. But again, easy peasy. Make a little bit of money quickly. I want to say thank you to Brandon R. becoming a YouTube channel member. Thank you very much. Means a lot. All right, and we will be doing another channel member stream soon. I just have to figure out when I want to do it, what Friday I want to do it. So, but we will be doing another one relatively soon. And going into next year, I'm going to be doing something else with channel members. Another show where I think I'm going to have a member host a show with me, but only for channel members. But once I have the details on that, I'm going to I'll discuss it with you guys and explain what my idea is. Anyway, so Starduster again. This is how a line creates a higher budget for the next year. They use the molds of figures that they already have. This is exactly what they did back in the day with this figure, and boom, they put it together. And next thing you know, you have a new figure. It adds to their budget, and then they can grow. So, if you want Starduster, he's going to be there. If you want Starduster, the O-ring, sell a kidney because how much it costs. Xandar, I already mentioned. I absolutely love Xandar. He was probably after Torch my favorite Dreadnought, and I know that is an unpopular opinion. A huge unpopular opinion, but I always liked Xandar. Xandar also does not come with Tunnel Rat's gun. That had to be expressed to Aaron. Aaron, I know you're watching too. Yeah, God damn, I'm never gonna live that one down. You're out of here, Bruce. Have a good night. Catch you on the replay if you have a chance. But have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping in. I always like Xandar. Now, I do wonder if they would go back and see, I don't think that they would do a 3-pack with color changing with Zartan because he's already been done. But I wonder if they do a 2-pack with a color changing Zarana and Xandar that's an exclusive where people obviously wouldn't need it, but they could get it if they want it. Now, again, the color changing Zartan is, in my opinion, very disappointing. But they did give it to you. And Cap says, "Damn punk, I love Xandar. Color changing gimmick, please Hasbro." Yeah, unfortunately, they're never going to do it heating up. They're never going to do heating up again. They're going to do the whole cold thing. And if you have the color changing Zartan, if you touch like his skin or anything that's color changed with your thumb trying to pose him, that bar changes really quick. Like he warms up really quick. So yeah. Says Xandar isn't Retroline, so I hope they modernize him and make him look swank next to Zarana. You know, that is a good point. I would assume that they would, just because if they did it to Zarana, you know, you probably should do the same thing with Xandar. And they didn't. I mean, obviously you can tell who Zarana is, but I don't know. I don't really want to see Xandar with shoulder pauldrons on and no shirt and bad tattoos. I'd rather that be a Make that a shirt. All right, make that a shirt with a logo on it or something. I just, yeah, I don't know. It does bother me. um, yeah, I'm with that there. Um, uh, Aaron says, I have all my chosen Ziploc bags temporarily. Thought I grabbed the right gun. You did not. I just love the fact, listen, if you didn't see it, Aaron grabs his Xandar and he holds it up, and I go, "That's the wrong gun." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And Ryan said it almost as soon as I did. He's like, "Yeah, that's the wrong gun." And he's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Hold on, I got the book right here." And this picture is right there. And we're like, Aaron, like, the picture's right here. Like, fucking, you don't have to scroll through that book. But you know what was awesome is that Aaron understood. He took the joke. He laughed at it because you know what? When you can laugh at yourself, you can actually have fun. And that's what this is really about. So, anyway, Xandar here. Again, hopefully they give him a little bit more. Hope they give him a real gun. I do not want to have a cross gun like they did with Zarana. That's not what I want. Brick says, yeah, the vintage figure looked like Adam and the and music video background dance. See, there's some things that I love the 80s, but there are some things that need to be left back there. Yeah, Matthew, you're right. Like, what's the point of life if you can't laugh at yourself? You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna explode. You're gonna stroke out on your fucking self because you're so mad over stuff, or God forbid someone make fun of you or something that you like. You know, like I said, I rip on soccer. Tell people I hate soccer. I tell them their pop music sucks, and then people go, "What if I tell you skateboarding sucks?" Like, okay, I don't care. doesn't make me like it any different. is, is the free Sergeant Slaughter offer valid? I'm not gonna lie. I used to wonder that even like as a 20-year-old. I'm like, what if I did like send some flag points back? But I do think that I think on all of those there are some like they have dates on there, like good to this date. But I've often wondered because there are always those ones that there aren't dates, and you're just like, yeah, I wonder, like, what would they do? Do they have like still some that are left there? Like, if someone does like contact them, kind of like the guy that if you ever watched the whole Pepsi thing to get the Harrier jet. It's on Netflix. It's a little documentary. It is awesome. The guy like bought enough Pepsi to get a Harrier jet, and then they didn't really think someone could do it, and he got all this backing to do it, and they had to find ways to get away from doing the giving him the Harrier jet. Jim Riley just jumps in. Hey, love a Joe stream. Just found you. Enjoy this. Thank you very much. I can tell you, I have never seen you. Obviously, Ball Cap Sports definitely would have stuck out. Thank you very much. I do my best all by myself. Although I have all you guys here. I'm not really by myself. I'm here with 62 of you. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. All right, let's move on because this is the figure that I've been really waiting for. I love Leatherneck. I know the face was based after Ron Rudat. I know people have said, "Oh, is it going to be based after Ron Rudat again?" Well, I mean, it's impossible to say. And Jim, I just want to say thank you very much. You will find lots of G.I. Joe content here, no doubt about it. But more than anything, especially with live streams, we just try and have fun. There is no doubt about that. Anyway, everyone says they're wondering if it's going to look like Ron Rudat. Dude, seriously, this is a guy with a mustache. I mean, this could have been Tom Selleck for all we knew. Now, obviously, it's Ron Rudat. I don't know if they'll try and do Ron Rudat again. It seems like I don't know. There's conflicting stories that he's unhappy about certain things, but he just did the whole the hiss driver. So I don't know, and frankly, I don't even care. I just want a beautiful mustache, one that rivals Tom Selleck. It would never be better than Tom Selleck because I believe that is the greatest mustache of all time, and he wears Detroit hats. I want an M16 with a big fucking 203 on it. Uh, it has to have. You can give him all kinds of guns. I don't care. It has to have this gun. Lenny, if you're listening, it has to have this gun. You have to have the M16 with the grenade launcher on it because why do we all love this gun? Come on. We all know. Anyone that was watching on Friday, they know. This was the Predator gun. But again, give him all the weapons you want. Just give him this one. That's all I give a shit. Yeah, he won't have the EAG. That's unfortunate. Yeah. So, and I meant I hope he's bigger. I hope he's a bigger buck, but I hope he's not as big as Roadblock and Gung Ho. I always saw those as the two biggest figures. Or the two biggest Joes. I like Bazooka that he's smaller, but he's big. Rock and Roll is actually really small compared to them. I know people think that he's bigger, but he's not. Uh, Sergeant Slaughter, who used the same upper body, but they changed something in the legs, so he's a little bit shorter than them. That's fine. Sergeant Slaughter was stupid. He turned his back on the USA and Hulk Hogan. Yes, you're right. Yes. I know Tony Montana did it, but let's be honest. That guy could barely hold the fucking gun. All right? Arnold is like fucking shooting the gun with a grenade, walking around with a fucking tree log on his shoulder. While on his pinky, he's holding his fucking chainsaw that just cut down it. And that was the log I believe that he used to kill the Predator with. It was before he had actually. I just saw. Wait, I just saw that. I think it's the same log that he used to kill the Predator with. All right, so Wade pops in. This is Don Fry. Yes. Then Cobra Commander says M203 was my old gun. So anyway. And Rachel drops in. Hi, Rachel. How are you? Let's see here. They released Sarge. They released the Triple T with Leatherneck. They released Leatherneck. Tell me we're getting a classified Triple T. I think that personally, I think it's right there. It's going to be on that small frame that you can do probably for about $100, maybe $120. I would probably say 100. I would say 100. Other than it has, the treads. And I think that's going to be the big thing. Are they going to have plastic treads or are they going to have, working treads? And I personally think that, and we talked about this actually, if you did treads that look like the Scrap Iron's rocket launcher, then you can get away with it. You just put, the wheels on the bottom, the treads have rubber over it, so they look fine, but they just don't roll. I'd be fine with that. That wouldn't kill me. Just like how the Vamp doesn't have turning wheels. But anyway, I'm excited for this figure. I think you can do so much with it, and then you're gonna have Gung Ho and Leatherneck. The other Marines that I can remember are Mainframe. I know there's other Marines, but Mainframe was one of them. So. And someone recently asked about Mainframe, and I'm surprised we haven't even heard him or Dial Tone yet, but they're coming, guys. All right. Now let's move on to some figures we actually seen. Retro Scarlet. It's hard to say that which one is, in my opinion, the best of the bunch, but I think this, from what I can see on this figure, they did a hell of a job. There have been so many issues with female figures, uh, faces, and not just with GI Joe. I mean, Star Wars, Valaverse seems to have a problem with it. I know that's blasphemy to say. Uh, I think Marvel Legends usually does a pretty good job, to be honest. But I think this Scarlet is absolutely beautiful. I think they knocked it out of the park with it. Everything that they did here, giving her the M16 so you can actually recreate some of um, the comic covers, giving you the laser rifle, the XR3R2RY laser rifle here. So if you want her to look like she's from the cartoon, you can do that. And then obviously the crossbow, which is essential to her. I did mention on this picture, it looks like maybe they actually did something to the butterfly to make it look right, because that's been one of my biggest gripes with Classified. Other than Zaymot and Tomax, the butterflies really don't work all that well. They really can't cross over and hold the gun together. I hope that this is something that was rectified, because this figure looks really good. Now, pictures can do so much. Um, Shane says they need to retro the rest of the line. Well, again, they're going to. Everyone wants instant gratification right now. It's amazing. Everyone wants instant gratification. Go ask your wife or your girlfriend if they want instant gratification. I'm going to bet that they don't, because they know it's only you giving instant gratification, and they're left going, where's my toy at? Anyway, I think we're going to get them. All right. They are not going this hard with Duke, Scarlet, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes to just say, you know what? No, they're selling. So I believe all those retro things we're going to get, because they've already said what? Retro Eels coming and retro Snow Serpent. And those are ones that, yeah. They're so close as it is. Why not? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, they're going to get them. The classified, they want the classified to be something a little different. And I believe in some ways they've made some mistakes by making them too classic. So, but I think we're going to get everything. You're just not going to get it all at once, for many, many reasons, whether it be the budget, but you also don't want everyone to run out and then be done. That's the reason why these things get spread out. So, anyway, but I do love this figure. Two different ponytails. You can take the ponytail off if you want it to be that retro, where she just doesn't have a ponytail like the original. I talked about the card on Friday. I still hate the card. I like the idea of it. I hate this. The blister is way too big. I don't need to see all the arrows or bolts. I don't need to see the guns right there, the backpack. That blister, this should be smaller. It should be on the same scale as the Marvel or the Star Wars Black Series that are on the card. I hate it, I'm glad that they're doing a better card. They're doing the same thing they do with Marvel Legends and everything, but they just need to make the card smaller. Well, they should have. They're not going to. They should have. So I'm not a fan of this blister. I love the artwork. The artwork is really cool. It's a great homage to what we had as a kid using this actual figure. So the back of it, biggest complaint right here. Hold on, I want to say, Shane says, I hate to say it, but I love the gear in the Foot Locker. I don't like the Foot Locker. I wish the Foot Locker was like a locker and it stood up. I discussed that before. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. I don't. Yeah, I like it because it's so easy to get out. But Matthew has said numerous times, I think it's actually going to keep the weapons straighter than normal, or a lot straighter than what we've had before. Liquid Identity says Hasbro hit the money by dropping the sci-fi angle and leaning into classic designs with modern updates. Yeah, this is like, something you lucked into something. Even though, I mean, you had it, but you kind of lucked into how this line took off. Toy Collector says you have to cut your show to 1 hour, maybe 1 hour and a half. 3 hours is too long. I respect your opinion, Toy Collector. But I think most of the people here would disagree. And there are some days I kind of wish I did only go an hour to an hour and a half. But I will tell you this: I will have almost as many people at the end of 3.5 hours. But listen, I respect your opinion. But as Matthew will tell you, 3 hours is a sweet spot. So, but hey, you know what? Listen, everyone's entitled to how they feel. I believe you can watch, always watch it later on. But I understand what you're saying. I talk on. Yeah, let's see. Johnny Reno, 4 hours minimum. No, I'm not going for a fucking hour. Wait, this card is going to look great in the trash. All right, so I want to talk about the back here. So this is my problem with this. First off, we all know the gripe on the file card, and we know why they do it. Whatever, I don't care. Let's ignore that. The file card should be at the bottom. They should have make it. They should have found a way to make it not as large. It's just too big. But the cross sell, you have other figures on the retro card. They should all be on there. Even the Walmart, like the early Walmart ones, you should have the Cobra Commander that comes with the HISS tank. You should have them all on top, how it used to look, because they're out there. And then you should, and someone had mentioned it on the stream, still have like 2 or 3 that are like coming soon. That's the way that it should have, how it should be. Here you're showing 3 of them. Why? What? You have other retro cards. Put them all up there. Make it look like it used to before. You can keep everything the same. You're just going to shrink down, those pictures. And it doesn't matter if you can get them or not, but Gung Ho should be there. Destro, Baroness, all of those should be up there. That's my biggest gripe on this card right here. So, all right. So here's everything that you get. And it was, I believe Beast Battleground said, someone looked at it and said, you actually get more accessories with this than the 60th Commando. You may get more, but I don't know if they're bigger accessories because you get 4 bolts. But you get the 2 hands, 2 different, ponytail pieces. So it's definitely one of those things where, I guess technically there might be more. All right. McMurphy says the cross-sell of the older figures is iconic. We all call Star Wars cards from 78, 12 back. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like there were a lot of figures, even as kids, like you'd see the cross-sell and you couldn't get those figures anymore, right? There's no reason why, and let's be honest, the fucking Lady J is still there at Walmart, right? Like it could be on there. Like, not like you can't go get it. Gung Ho is on the shelves, or on the pegs. So again, you should have just had more. Like 3 is stupid. They had 4 before. They'd have the 2, and then they'd have like the 2 that were coming, but we already knew who they were. It just bothers me. I just think they could have done better with that. If you want to say this is retro. All right, Duke. Many people know Duke is not my favorite character. He was not my favorite character when I was a kid. Yes, I did have him. So I'm not one of those people that, I didn't have him, so I didn't like him. I think if you watch the channel long enough, I pretty much had every figure that I wanted. And the figures I didn't want, I normally didn't get. Like Tripwire. I didn't have Tripwire because I didn't want him. I thought he was stupid. I didn't have Barbecue because Barbecue was stupid. Anyway, I do think this Gung Ho looks awesome. And I did make the mistake of saying, they finally got a Duke head right. I did think the first Duke, and obviously Tiger Force Duke, which is just a repaint, I believe they got those faces right too. I was merely looking more at the 4-inch figures. I feel like this is one of the heads. It really reminds me of Princess Leia. they just cannot seem to get that head right. Now that I brought up Princess Leia, I'm gonna assume that Allison is gonna jump in and be like, "Whoa, ho, 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 ho." But yeah, but I think this looks awesome. I really do. And this is coming from someone who does not like Duke. I don't understand why they put the visor on it, but again, you could probably take the visor off. I probably won't have him with the helmet on anyway. But this is definitely telling you, hey, all those OG figures, you're gonna get that visor with it. You're gonna get what you need. I've already heard people that are upset over over the shovel having the little saying on it. Again, like what's the big deal? It's kind of cool. It's just something different. Lenny put some time into stuff, and people are shitting all over it because that's just stupid. You don't think military people do stuff like that? I mean, come on. So, it says Duke's got some carpal tunnel action going on there. Yeah, we're gonna. I love the fact that they give him the gun that he came with, and they also give him the laser rifle. The shots look awesome. It is a wonderful looking figure. I'm actually excited to get it, and now I can probably retire my old Duke. Just put him back in the packaging because let's be honest, that figure's just going up in price. So we got the cross-sell, or not the cross-sell. Again, we got the bubble. As I mentioned, I just think there's too much going on. I don't need to see every single thing and it be spaced apart. It doesn't make any sense. I don't need all that. I don't see all that stuff with the classified. Why do I need to see it here? Again, I've already mentioned this. 3 figures on the back. Kind of stupid. All right. So here's everything that you get. We get Stalker's gun, which obviously he came with. It also came with the Tiger Force Duke. We get the laser rifle. There's going to be so many laser rifles that if you really want to do a cartoon version of these, you're not going to have any issues. The backpack is very similar to what he had. We have the binoculars, a couple extra hands. He needs to be punching, a helmet and the visor. If you were not watching on Friday, I'm going to ruin your Duke. He has fat wrists. Aaron, was it you that pointed out that he has fat wrists? But you can't see unsee the fat wrists once it's pointed out. They literally look like they are melting over his hands. I think there's got to be something wrong with it. I'm sorry. There's got to be something wrong with this picture because God damn you, Aaron. So you're like, yep. He was the one that did it. Yeah, no, I don't think they're buff wrists because those are buff necks, okay? That looks like Kurt Angle's fucking neck right there on his wrist. I do want to say this. Miranda here, finally, you're doing a live review. Great. This is exactly what I was talking about. I'm not sure what you mean by a live review. I do this every Monday. So I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but thank you very much for joining in. I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm just trying to figure out what you were actually trying to say. But yeah, I'm here every Monday doing stuff like this. It's just sometimes it takes time to get to the point. But anyway, Fat Wrist Duke will be available soon. And you can thank Aaron. I'm just the messenger. Do not yell at me. It was Aaron the Toy Enhancer. Go click follow his channel and tell him that he ruined your retro Duke by pointing out that he has fat wrists. All right. And then Wakando. Now, I don't mind Tiger Force Wakando, but this is your Wakando. This is our Wakando that we had. I think this one is sharp. I thought the face sculpt was really good on the last one. They've done some wonderful, wonderful mustaches. I mean, they're killing it when it comes to stashes on their GI Joe figures. I think the Tiger Force that I like most, more than the original, is still Outback. I do think that this Tiger Force is good, but this is the one that I want. There's no doubt about it. I have two of the other ones because one was on sale. I'm gonna have them all, but yeah, this is the one. He'll be up there for sure. I just think they knocked this out of the park. If it does come out looking this way, again, they're giving you everything that you're supposed to have. His gun, the paint apps look really good on it. The stash is amazing. Again, stupid cross sell on the back. Though you know what? They didn't give him the laser rifle. Huh. Oh well. Yeah, it didn't dawn on me that they didn't give him the laser rifle, which I thought they would have. You would think that they would have started going. All the retros would have the laser rifle because even though they don't look like the cartoons, that's what people think of. To be honest. Um, okay, you said I might comment on your low light classified review when I mentioned this Duke. Hope that clarifies what I meant. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, somewhat. I apologize. And again, I wasn't trying to call you out on it or anything like that. I wasn't trying to call you out or anything. Don't take it that way. But yeah. All right. So now we get to the diver. This is the 60th anniversary diver. And I think most people are really, really excited for these guys. I know Pat from the Full Force has talked about it, and I fully agree with what he says. And he says, hey, you know what? Not everyone that works with G.I. Joe is a Joe. They have to have support troops. Not everyone the Navy SEALs work with are SEALs, right? Not everyone that the Rangers work with, or, Delta. They're not all Delta. So I'm glad that they're doing something like this. Not to mention, now you can actually have an actual SEAL team using Torpedo. And before anyone asks, you already know we're going to get Wetsuit. He's going to come. They just haven't announced it yet. If they already have this mold going, don't worry. He's coming. So, but I wonder how many people are going to have fish tanks that have divers in them, because you'll be able to do some pretty awesome photography, awesome shots. Imagine walking into someone's house and they found a way to pose divers in a fish tank, especially if you got water going, maybe fish floating around it. So many cool things that you could actually do. But I think it's great they gave you two different face sculpts. So right there, it's giving you three different characters. And you can name them whatever you want. That's what's cool too. You can name them anything that you want. Again, they don't have to be, they don't have to be Joes. They can be anything, there. Shark says, and we'll no doubt get a SEAL version of Shipwreck. Boo. Shipwreck is just a deck washer. Why is that so hard for people to accept? Shipwreck is nothing more than a deck washer that runs out to make sure that the deck is clean. So when planes land on the aircraft carrier, it's nice and clean. When the admiral comes through, the walkway looks nice. Why is that so hard for people to accept? Shipwreck sucks. Yeah, I said it. All right. But wonderful shots here. Absolutely love these shots. This photographer is absolutely awesome. Here we have the Techno Viper in the background. All right. About to get taken out by a Navy SEAL. I actually kind of like that they don't have names, to be honest. Here we have his spear gun. Is it harpoon gun? I forget what it is. Now, hopefully, it uses a better durometer of plastic, so it doesn't shoot around corners. But yeah, and everything here just looks awesome. I absolutely love this here. Here he's leaving all his gear here because they got to get back. But let's get to the gear that they're actually showing. Again, someone's going to do shots like this. Mr. Popinski did get shots like this with the eels in Torpedo when they first came out, and it looked absolutely amazing. So, just trying to read some of these here. Brick says, no. I learned that Shipwreck had a sandboat that he used to save fellow Joes. You are wrong. The sandboat. He wasn't a Joe yet. He just had a sandboat. I did watch the cartoon. He just had a sandboat. He didn't use. Holy shit. Okay. Ray Pass says, I have a wish list for which ones I want to go cheap and clearance. Eels, range vipers, snow serpents, both Python patrol officers, techno vipers. I want to army build. Ray Pass, I have a wish list that what figures I want to be cheap too. It starts with all of them, and that's where it ends. Rachel says, can we get a wet down wetsuit and depth charge out of this build? Well, wetsuit for sure. And I'll tell you what. Let's get to it really quick here. Let's get to his accessories. Well, here's the pack out of everything that he had. Now, this is exclusive, or this is the not exclusive. I can't think of the name. Someone tell me what this is. More than a regular figure. It's $35. I just can't think of the name. And before someone says, how can you not think of that stuff? Because when you're on the spot, you forget things. Okay, so there's a couple of things to look at when you think about wetsuit here. All right. Deluxe, thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. You guys are awesome. All you guys are absolutely awesome. And believe me, I want to tell you something. If you haven't done live streams, especially by yourself, you go brain dead on things that you know. All right. So, Rachel, going back to your comment about wetsuit, if you remember, wetsuit had that device that helped him swim through. So you're looking at it right here. It looks different, right? It's different, but that's what Classified does. I guarantee you that thing's going to end up with wetsuit, and that's going to be part of his loadout that he has. And then eventually they'll probably do a retro version that has, the one that kind of looks like a mantis, right? So yeah, it's right there. Like they're kind of telling you, hey, remember wetsuit came with that little, submersible that he used. We're just going to change it up a little bit. So yeah, I think we're getting wetsuit out of this for sure. But yeah. Brick says, oh yeah, it's 100% true. It's so hard to multitask while live streaming. You're good, Lawrence. Keep us engaged. Hey, I do my best, man. I do. Hey, as long as you guys are chatting, I can kind of veer off and, kind of take a breath, take a quick sip of something. So, all right. Now we come to I forget what his name is, or what he's called, the 60th Army figure. So this guy is awesome. But yeah. It says that Caucasian head sculpt looks just like the 82 Grunt. Which figure are you talking about, Jays? Are you talking about this one right here? Yeah, I mean, if this is one you're talking about, a lot of those Joes had that really weird, those weird eyebrows and eyes. But yeah, if that's what the one you're talking about, I can definitely see what you're talking about. All right. Hold on. I'm going to take a quick message from our sponsors. So here we go.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on? Mossman, what are you doing back here? Oh, you see, so Skeletor, he had to go to the grocery store. He had to go buy more barbecue Pringle chips. And so he's put me in charge here for a little bit. In charge of y'all. He said, man, Mossman, I have to go to the grocery store, so I need to put you in charge of Snake Mountain. Mwahahahaha. Yes, that's Skeletor. That's Skeletor. Right. Skeletor said since I was in charge, I could use the credit card and maybe go online and buy some action figures for myself.
Oh, some action figures sound kind of nice.
Yes. Maybe we can go to Big Ben. Yeah, Beastman, we don't say that around here. We go to HelloDopeToys.com. They have the best prices in town, and they ship everything in one business day. One business day, Beastman. That means I buy it, and it comes to my house super fast, and they pack it all real nice. So when I go to do my YouTube reviews for my 5 subscribers, I'll be like, oh, look at this minty fresh packaged box that I got from HelloDopeToys.com. So what are we waiting for, y'all? Let's go get that credit card and head on over to HelloDopeToys.com right now before they run out of all the good stuff.
Okay, I just needed a breather. Every now and then I do need a breather. Sometimes talking for 3+ hours can be difficult. Anyway, okay, so for this figure, I think this figure looks awesome. We know the comparisons that people have already started with going against. They're just they're trying to imitate Valaverse and dude, it's an army figure. It's an army builder. The same that Monster Force is doing right now. Or, well, eventually going to do. Monster Force, give us some shit. Anyway, I like this figure. I like what they did with the poncho. And if they do the poncho properly, and I probably should have put it back already. If they do with the poncho and the hood, because the hood will be plastic, if they do what Mythic Legions does, it's going to look almost seamless. Because you can't tell with the Mythic Legion because they do such a good job. And hopefully, Hasbro with their budget and everything, and the way Lenny designs it, hopefully you won't have this. So, it's 6 subscribers. Thank you very much, Mossman. Brick, every time I hear that, I laugh. Every time I hear that, I laugh. Again, wonderful shots. We discussed the double-barreled M4. Not a fan of it. I just think everything about it looks really, really good until you see the double barrels. And I know it is a real gun, so no one has to come in and tell me that it's not a real gun. I know it's a real gun, but I would rather have it regular. I don't mind the magazines the way they look and everything. So, and also, I know Bobby B said the same thing. That handle kind of just comes right the fuck off. So hopefully they fix that. And want to say hi to Ryan really quick. And say thank you for joining me last Friday. So, I I see a good base figure for Sparehead. Like Rachel's like, Rachel, don't do what Tony does. Tony goes and he customizes these figures, and then Hasbro's like, hey, here you go, $25. So just be careful. Just be careful, Rachel, because you might end up spending lots of time just for Hasbro to go, here you go. Again, I love the loadout that he has. I didn't understand this picture. It looks like he's loading a magazine into the pistol, and I was like, is there a magazine for the pistol? So I think that's what he's supposed to look like he's doing. So, yeah, but you know what? I always think Johnny Reno stuff is way better than yours. So. I'm just saying. I mean, he is the best customizer in Arizona. And Johnny's also saying that he's fired that rifle and that it sucks. It definitely seems like it would be be like I don't know. I figure you could probably they can figure out how to set it so it doesn't move back and forth because it's obviously not firing perfectly straight there. But everything about this figure I think looks really nice. You're seeing all these shots of them. Here's the poncho without the hood on it, and the walkie-talkie that probably the same one that Rock and Roll came with. That is long gone on a beach, Cocoa Beach in Florida of mine. But like this shot looks really good, but I assume this is what you look like when you're drunk and you're like, oh my God, that gun has 2 barrels. Other than that, the shot looks really awesome. And I hope they fix the handle. But Hasbro has a tendency to not fix things that are broken in their molds. And that handle is awful because it just literally falls off. Like the whole C clamp isn't even like formed properly, and it just doesn't even fit there. So, all right. So here's the loadout of everything that he gets. Now, I've said this before. You know, I think that they really could have done a good job. I think they could have done something to still show off the coffin. You know, with the plastic packaging being brought back. Again, here they're showing you absolutely everything. It doesn't really bother me on this, probably because it's a box. It seems to be laid out better. I just feel like with the retro card, everything just seems packed. And also the retro cards, I'm looking at them as retro, and it's not what the retro ones look like. And I don't want to be that person that complains that classified aren't the exact same, but again, here we are. You know, you're doing something classic, they should be classic. All right. So here's the loadout. Oh, yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. So Lenny showed that all the the vest and everything is modular. So it can be swapped around, you can change it, which I really like because you look at the military, you know, they may have a standard, but things are different. People are going to carry things in a different spot just because they're going to reach in. Maybe their arms are different. They just think of something. I know for me, like my pockets in general, like I know where I carry my phone and my Bluetooth and my wallet and my keys and my chapstick. Yes, chapstick. It actually got pointed out to me with my chapstick, and I'm assuming you guys realize I put chapstick on a lot. That's from sucking on that Hasbro cock, according to some people. Anyway, did I just say that? Fuck. Anyway, sorry, I hear my son getting loud on his video games. So you have all these different ports, and I think that's actually pretty cool, and it's a nice design that they're going to do. I can only imagine how many of these are going to get lost, and these are the parts that will be worth a lot of money later on in life. That is for sure. Yeah, I said it, dude. Listen, dude, I ain't got no fucking shame. All right, man. I got no fucking shame. Yeah. So looking at this loadout here. He has the machine gun and the M4 that both came with Big Ben. Now they look better. They give him some paint apps. The magazines are different colors. The stock looks like it's a little bit different color. They got the machine gun with the tripod. Now, people may have missed it, but right above the pistol, I believe that is a port that ports into the machine gun. So if you want to put it on a roadblock or anyone else, and he's going to carry it the same way, the Modus is. So they're almost giving you they're almost saying, here's your retro roadblock that you're going to get. But again, like other than the gun, I mean, this roadblock, You can't get much more retro than this. I mean, I guess a backpack and the gun. Anyway, so I don't want another roadblock that looks just like that one. But yeah, but the backpack is the same one that comes with Outback. You know, you got the rock and roll walkie talkie, but all the pouches. And on the poncho, there is what the hell, a pocket that you can stuff stuff in it too. So Eric says it's a customizer's dream. Yeah, like I said, there's so much that you can do with this figure. You make your own make your own thing. They also said that all of these figures will be coming with dog tags. So there is that going with them too. And obviously, two different color figures. You can see the poncho cover over it. Like I said, I'm assuming that's going to be plastic, but if they do what Mythic Legions does, it's going to be seamless and you're not going to tell. And I hope so, because they have the budget to do it. It's just knowing that if you can get it right. Yeah, lost like Fireflies. You know what? When I bought Firefly many years ago, I didn't care about having all the accessories. And boy, do I kick myself now, man. Boy, do I kick myself now, because I should have just bought one complete, because it'd be worth a lot more now, at least than what it was back then. All right. Let's get to these, and then we'll get to the Super 7 Mothership and the ending of their failed campaign. Well, I don't know, maybe it's past. We haven't looked. Maybe it's past. So Big Boa, it was another figure that I just don't care about. And I understand people don't want a deluxe. I can understand that. But at the same time, if you would have made him a deluxe with a punching bag, a bench, a bar, actual barbells, and you have the dumbbells, there's your world building that you could be doing with a deluxe figure. I still think, and I don't care, what anyone says, and I know people said, hey, I can 3D print stuff. You can buy it, find something online. Him having some sort of punching bag, and I would rather have a heavy bag, not a speed bag, but have a heavy bag. I mean, he's training guys to punch and fight. And I think that's something you could have done. Hell, you know what? You could have made anyone that's ever been in martial arts, you could have made the pads to have people punch and kick, right? This is what he's supposed to be doing. He's training people to do this. And I don't think the figure looks bad. We didn't even talk about how he's going to have nipples. I would have rather them not done a head and found a way to put in some, a heavy bag. Now, again, I like the weights. I think those are cool. I don't mind the boxing gloves and then the MMA type stuff. I don't mind all that stuff. I don't think too many people are going to use this face. Now, it looks good that he just got beat up. But let's be honest, I don't think there's a big... And hey, maybe there's a lot of Big Boa fans out there that were like, I need to know what he looks like. I need to know what he looks like. I just don't think that there's going to be people that are going to use that head. And he's also using... Oh, we'll see over here. Now, here's another thing that I think is stupid. And people seem to have an issue. Oh, I got to fix this. It's driving me fucking nuts. Oh, that's the hard one to get out too. Maybe not. Sorry, guys. I bumped the gun so hard that it knocked it off and it was bugging me. All right, so he should have had the regular head on. And I know people were saying like, well, yeah, having a floating head would have looked stupid. It wouldn't be the first time there'd be a floating head in a box. If I remember correctly, that's how these Snake Eyes movie figures were. So I don't understand why people are like complaining about or saying like, yeah, it would have looked like a floating head. Um, I just don't think people are going to use this head, and I might be completely wrong. Um, and I have also said with this figure, and if you have Doctor Mindbender, well, I guess you pretty much have the makings of the sex room in my basement. And yes, if you weren't listening, go back to the beginning of the show and you will hear the whole talk of the sex room. I'm willing to bet that Dr. Mindbender and Big Boa were here sometime in my house well before I lived here. But yeah, you definitely have an SDM Cobra subfaction going on if you really want. Now he is using the old leg or old arms. So if you look here, you can see the pins in them. Again, I've mentioned it before. I don't hate pins as long as there's not paint going through them where there's like split. I'd rather not have pins, but I also understand the reason for them. These figures, I mean, these molds are going to be used for quite some time, the same way as Marvel Legends does it. They've been using the same body for quite some time. That's how you get your budget. It's how you get your money's worth out of it. Andrew Taylor says, with a midget, we could get Master Blaster. That's little person. YouTube, I'm sorry, let me correct it. With a little person, we can get Master Blaster. Mindbender and Boa will start the movie Magic Snake. And again, I don't think you were here at the beginning, Ryan. Is it? I think the first half hour. Yeah, going. So like, I think between the 20 and the 30-minute mark, I get to tell you all about what the GI Joe room used to be before I worked here or before I made it. Go back and watch it because you're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" That's a story I didn't think I'd ever talk about on the stream. All right, quick kick. Now, all right, so on the Facebook group page, someone had mentioned that there's something wrong with this picture and a couple other pictures, and I don't know what he's talking about. So, if anyone sees something that is wrong with this quick kick, please point it out what it is. I'm just wondering what it was he was mentioning. No one had made any comments before, at least before the show had started. So I'm not a fan of quick kick. That is well documented. I have. Okay, I had a feeling that's what it was going to be. But you know what? Storm Shadow's backpack is also different. So yeah. Yes, Larry likes himself an adult swing. Yeah, Storm Shadow's backpack is also the wrong way. And I noticed that one right away too. But it doesn't really bother me. So is it upside down? We'll get to the end and we'll see. Eric Thurman says, I need him to pilot the Trouble Bubble. Andrew Taylor, no shirts, no shoes, no service. I love the fact that he goes through snow like this. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of quick kick. I've said before, the best thing that ever happened, best thing he ever did, we get his ass beat, by Storm Shadow, by getting kicked in the face. Still such an awesome panel. But he does look good. But I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, yeah, there it is. Look at that. So it's that way. This is, I don't know. I wonder. Yeah, it is. Okay, I see. I see exactly what you guys are saying now. We don't mention his name. I was told to keep his name out my mouth. I believe that's what it was. I was told to keep his name out my mouth. Don't worry, dude. I think most of us already have the Shang-Chi that is quick kick. I'm perfectly fine with, but I'll be getting it. I put this on here because he talked about how the nunchucks go in the back, and Lenny. I found it funny because the way Lenny was talking about it was like, oh my god, yeah. So we have these like two little ports in the back that the nunchucks go in, so they can hold it. I'm thinking, you put that on nunchuck too, right? And it's a different belt, so you had to redesign it. All right, so you actually redesigned it. But yeah. So here's everything that he comes with. He's got his karate knife hands, his fists. I like the Chinese stars, the frozen fudgy, 2 swords, 2 nunchucks, and I will ask again. I'm not one of those people that has to have everything the exact same, but why does the Storm Shadow have nunchucks? I know we've all been asking that. It's not just me that's asked that. It is kind of like a ninja weapon. So, all right. Now let's get on to characters I like. Airborne was one of my favorite as a kid, and I've talked about this before. I know I talked about it on Friday. I loved Airborne. I really didn't realize he was Native American. It didn't really matter to me. I know there's been a lot of talk that he doesn't look Native American enough. I don't really know what that means. But people will nitpick everything. I love this. This color scheme is absolutely amazing. It just works. It shouldn't. I mean, it is. Again, once again, I go back to a sniper's dream. Hey, look at that blue. Pop. Anyway, my only complaint that I have about him is his rifle. That he should not have the submachine gun. He should have an M16 with a bayonet. And I was, my whole thing is, yep, basically they gave that gun to the Crimson Guard, and I'm like, well, you can't give him, a gun that's being used for a Cobra Trooper. Only the gun they gave him is the gun that's on Firefly. So I guess they could have just given him the fucking bayonet. So I can tell you right now, yeah, one of my numerous Crimson Guard that I have, and I'm sure there will be more Crimson Guard, and I don't have a complaint with that. He'll be getting one of them because that's the gun that he should have. I would like to use the Mark II Toys one, but the thing's just way too big. I mean, I'll try and use it and see how it fits on him. I just feel like some of the Mark II toy guns are just really, really big. But yeah, I think he looks awesome. I don't understand. Like, I mean, this is an action figure, and the way people were flipping out about it, like he's like this super white, pale dude with red hair and fucking freckles. He doesn't look Native American enough. I'm like, I don't like. Really, that's what you went for. The only thing that you can see is like his head. Like I understand with Spirit because Spirit was everything that he's wearing has something to do with. Well, I guess they created an actual heritage of him, a culture of him, where the original one was just a mutt version of every type of, Indian that you can think of. So I'm excited for this. It'll go great with my Dragonfly. Yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, I feel like I talked about these already. Oh, I did on Friday. And then we're gonna get Techno Viper. I was never a fan of this. Never a fan of this figure. Hold on. Says he looks like the marksman Valiverse made. I forgot his name. You mean Condor looks like Airborne? I think that's what you're trying to say. And I already mentioned this. and I mentioned it 1,000 times. Yes. So I bought Condor from Valaverse because it looked like Airborne, and I didn't know how deep the line for Classifier was going to be. Condor is clearly supposed to be Airborne. They just made him a different rank. And if you know anything, I believe it's Argentina. Airborne was actually named Condor. So it's just a complete rip off of them to begin with. So everyone used Condor as Airborne because it looked like him. All right. Televiper. I was never a big fan of Televiper as a kid. It was also coming out at the end of my time of playing G.I. Joe. I do have one. I think this was the standout of all the figures that they showed. I love the purple. I wanted the purple hiss tactician, because once again I have a purple hiss 3D printed. I'll have this figure to go with it, so now I can't get rid of that one even if I wanted to. But I think this thing looks awesome. It was pointed out that he's wearing the backpack upside down. So before anyone says anything, he is wearing the backpack upside down. We discussed this pretty extensively, I believe. It just wouldn't work because of the weight distribution. I just feel like it would pull you in the wrong way. But then again, maybe up top it would too. I love this figure, to be honest. I do. I just think he looks so awesome. I think when you get to the 6-inch figures, you're able to do a helmet size that fits what would be actual scaled properly. Unlike some of the, again, going back to the Viper that, like Jay Bartlett says that he doesn't like. He has a big head, and I think some of those figures are really hard to get the scale right, especially the female figures. Lady J, Cover Girl, like there's some ugly ass figures. But yeah, they knocked it out of the park with this figure. We know we're also going to be getting another one, like a red and black version with the SMS versus the MMS. No, I think it's SMS. I don't know, whichever one. But I think the purple is just amazing. And again, once we saw that purple, his tactician that we could vote on, everyone knew that you were going to get this. I love the fact that they updated him. So he's basically popping up like this digital version. He's looking at it. It's very Iron Man-esque, right? I think what would be cool, because they have kept the Joe Pro going, if they could find a way that they could make a Joe Pro that did what Lenny wanted. He talked about, I always envisioned Joe Pro to kind of like, shoot out a digital image like Iron Man. It would show where all the troops are at. They could communicate. It'd be cool if they could do something like that. So, but I'm down with this figure. Everything about him, it screams classic. He has, a version of his laser. I love the pistol. I think that's one of the best pistols that the Joe team has done, and obviously he has all the pneumatic wrenches and hammers and different things like that. So, but yeah, this was the standout for me, and that's the end of it. All right, so let's remove this. Woo! All right, yeah. Sometimes going long, yeah, you have to. But at the end, I just start talking and rambling. And I think some people, we only got like 15 minutes, so we'll be getting into the mothership in 1 second here. I think some people, because obviously we didn't have 60 plus people watching like we do right now. As a matter of fact, hit that like button if you haven't already. I don't think people, the newer people, they didn't remember. I just rambled on. I didn't know what I was doing. I started these things. I really didn't even have notes. I just started going. I went through BBTS and Entertainment Earth. It was really Matthew that kind of like, hey, boom, show notes. Show notes were actually huge for me, to be honest. So that way I could follow. Well, once I figured out how to do these slides and everything, it just kind of walked me through it. So, Wade, it was different. At the beginning, it was way different. Definitely didn't go 3+ hours. No, you don't have to say you're just kidding. Like, listen, I ramble on. I get that. All right. I listen. I did that walkthrough video, and I'm like, man, I talk a fucking lot. Um, all right. So let's go ahead and add this, and now let's refresh it, and let's see how close it is to funding. Now it wasn't even at half the backers, and if it backs, then we know that there was something fishy. Don't tell me there's that many. So we have 14 minutes to go. Now, if I remember correctly, you have till midnight, whatever time you live in. So I don't think this thing ends at midnight my time. I think that it would end at midnight. The last person that goes to 12/12, December 12th. And that's what I believe they said about the Thunder Machine. Not the Thunder Machine, the Cat's Lair. So this is where I think they completely screwed up. Now, we discussed this already. I think this thing looks marvelous. I really do. Yeah, I say a lot of stuff about Super 7, but I think that the way they showed this, it looked really good. But here was your problem. You should have gone in. You should have been all in on O-rings. Everyone should have known that you were in on O-rings before you did this. You should not have pushed it with any reaction figures. All right? You should have made it perfectly clear, hey, this is O-ring. You should have had multiple O-rings that were going to go with this. But you also should have already shown off, like, hey, this is our first wave of O-rings. Also, this is for everyone. Do not end the fucking HasLab a crowdfunder in December or November. People have families. There's Christmas, all right? And believe it or not, making sure our kids have a better Christmas than ourselves, well, that should be number one, right? So this is where, again, another fail at Super 7. I also don't believe that I don't think that many people really want O-ring. And I'm not here to bash O-ring because obviously I just did a whole fucking walkthrough. You see how many figures I have. If I had the money, I would have backed this. I think this thing looked awesome. All right. And the truth is, people don't want reaction. I think they want, O-ring more than reaction. But if you were already all in on O-ring, people might have seen this and said, all right, so maybe announcing the O-rings first and maybe having this thing end, I don't know, let's just say a little after taxes end when people have a little bit of extra money, maybe would have done a little bit better. Right now, I believe that, hey, you know what? They could end a classified HasLab on fucking December 24th, and it would fund because people are just all in on that line. But the fact of the matter is, not that many people want O-ring right now. You have to give them a reason to want to jump back into it. You can't say you're going to do O-ring and not even have a wave out there and you're saying, hey, this works with O-ring. But the only thing that you showed in your video is all reaction. I quickly want to say hi to Matt O'Brien. Thank you. Hope you're having a great Monday also. Love seeing Matthew in here. And I got to say hi, Wolverine Schnitt. Yep, 5 points of articulation is dumb. I don't believe I've ever seen you here. And if I have, it's been late, but thank you. And there was another one that I had seen is Quibina Johnson. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. If Lenny was smart, he would do a Joe Pro for dial tone or mainframe to do the same thing. Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. The only problem that I could see with it, and that's what I thought about, is that you don't want it to have you'd want to have a port. You know what I mean? Like, so you could put like a regular put a Joe Pro on there. Let's say you have the hole in the port on it. So then you put the Joe Pro on it, And then you have another Joe Pro that is projecting that. But I'm with you. Like Lenny's talked about it so many times, and now it's like right there. But onto this thing again. So again, Super 7 ends this on, December 12th or December 11th, right? December 12th is when it ends. It's not $500. It's about $650. That's the cheapest you're going to get away. It's $100 flat shipping no matter what. And then it's $50, probably $50 depending where you live for your taxes. So you can't say this is $500. If you live in San Diego, you can't say, hey, you know what? I'm going to fucking swing by and I'm going to pick it up. Nope, you can't do that. He won't do that. All right. You don't have a membership like the Hasbro Pulse. Let me tell you, did anyone get the HasLab that doesn't have the Pulse Premium? How much did you pay in shipping? I would love to know, because that's like an 18-pound box and it's fucking huge. I would love to know what you paid, because damn, dude, that thing was big. Rookie Teller says we're 7 minutes away from this thing not going to get funded. Dude, it ain't even fucking close. This is an embarrassment, like the Riva lightsaber. It has not moved since they first got it, right? Now, I still think there was fishy stuff going on with the Cat's Lair, and I saw the Cat's Lair in person. It is beautiful. It is huge. And this is coming from someone who walks by and sees the aircraft carrier almost every single day. That Cat's Lair is big. It's large. Everything about it is really nice. I think there was something fishy, how it just jumped 1,000 out of nowhere, But this is, I think this is an embarrassment for what it did. But again, you ended at the wrong time. You weren't showing that, like, if what you said is true, when he was on with the full force, this was last week or a week or two ago, he said, we just signed the contract, to do the O-ring like 2 weeks ago. Then, was the whole point that you convinced them? But, to do it by doing, that, hey, we're going to do this. So this thing here they're probably never going to give it another chance. And it sucks, because I think this thing looks awesome. Bullwinkle says it's usually $16. Wait for me for any HasLab shipping. It shows during checkout. Yeah, but that thing costs more than $16 to ship, man. Dude, I shipped that figure out, and it was like $14. So there's no way that HasLab was $16 to ship, okay? So you're saying it was $22 to ship to his? Yeah, then they must just be going on a flat rate to give people, because there's no way that it costs that much. I was shipping comics that cost almost as much as that. Matt, I am with you 100%. This sucks for people that wanted it. Like I said, I couldn't afford it, or else I would have wanted it. I also don't have space for it either. You guys see how much room I have. But it was just, everything was done poorly. And you're seeing how they do things poorly by all these, ultimate figures that are sitting there for $11 that people are, how Entertainment Earth didn't even sell out of it. I can tell you by looking at my account that a lot of people ordered them. So maybe they just said, oh, this is awesome. Someone got people to order them. And again, $44 for all of those figures for the first wave of the Ultimates, not a bad price. They don't look awful. I mean, at least they painted those faces, right? Hold on. So Fatrid says here, I understand the items that are delivered via crowdfunding are cool. I have an issue with big companies not doing a full marketing campaign and advertising. It's a method of which it was achieved. Yeah, I mean, I understand why they do it. I do. Just because I understand doesn't mean I fully agree with it, but at the same time, I kind of do. Uh, but yeah, so like with Super 7 here, like again, I think this really could have done well come springtime. You already have what O rings are coming out, you know? You have what O rings are coming out. Maybe you got some in hand so people see what quality they're going to have. Because as we know, Super 7, their quality is all over the damn place. But if someone has them in hand, now maybe you go, okay, you know what? This is this is equivalent to, you know, imagine the GI Joe brand. Imagine the 80s. They're like, you know what? We want to bring back GI Joe. Let's build this fucking giant aircraft carrier. We're not going to show any figures, other than the one that it's going to come with. Hopefully people will buy it and then just pray that we actually give them figures to go with it. And this thing never moved. It never. That first week, it hit the numbers, and then I think it's gone up like 300 since then. It's just been piss poor. And like, here it is, 12 o'clock. We're sitting at 1,640 backers. Conversely, we go look at this thing here. And yes, apples to oranges, but we have 24,361 backers. So that's how many units they've sold. And again, apples to oranges, but we can go look at the Sky Striker and see what it did at the end. Hell, that should have been, you should have looked at that. You should have looked at the Sky Striker and said, how the Sky Striker did under 18,000 because we didn't get ketchup and mustard. So I still don't know how my planes land on my aircraft carrier because I have no one controlling it. Just take off and land. No, hey, listen, Patrick, there's nothing wrong with feeling like, dude, there's nothing wrong with feeling like that, dude. And I understand what people, I understand why people feel that way. I just kind of look at it both ways, why they're doing it like that. And Super 7 is not a huge company. I mean, they are one of the larger toy companies, whether they tell you or not. You can't be in Walmart and stuff like that. Target, all over. It's not just Joe's and a couple Transformers, all kind. They're in Best Buy now. You can go get their stuff all over the damn place. But this thing was doomed to fail from the beginning. And you watch that video, it looked amazing. But you're looking at $650. And here's the other thing that Super 7 doesn't seem to understand. They take your money right away. So now there are 1,640 people that have backed this. That Super 7 is holding on to their money. How fast do you think those people are going to get that money back? That was the problem with the Motu stuff. When people backed Eternia. When are we going to get charged? It says it gets charged after it funds. Well, does that mean at the end of the campaign? Now, what makes no sense now, and they meant once it hit the funding goal, they charged you. That was Mattel. Super 7 charges you right away, and then now they're going to have to refund all that money. And again, I guarantee you it's not going to be fast. Hold on. I'm assuming it won't be fast. I don't want to guarantee anything, and then people come yell at me or whatever. But every other crowdfunder, every other Kickstarter, they charge you at the end of the campaign. But Mattel doesn't. And Super 7's like, we're going to take your money right now. But Super 7 also has been known to take your money for Ultimate figures that they're going to do. And then when they don't get enough to meet their MOQ, they cancel the line. And then refund your money? I mean, you're joking, right? Like, you took my money, and then you decided, oh, we didn't get enough to fit our minimum quantity. So this is a Kickstarter. I mean, that's what you're saying. This is a GoFundMe. Or not a GoFundMe. Kickstarter, whatever. So it's just one of those things. Well, Brian Flynn has the most expensive G.I. Joe custom ever made. Well, I can't say the most expensive, but he has one of them. Don't get me wrong. If I'm Brian Flynn, I'm like, every day I'm posting a new adventure with the mothership on Instagram. Me sitting there playing with it, making people have that FOMO. Like, oh my god, I really should have backed that. I won't miss out next time. Just like Dwight. Like Dwight should have been every single day. He should be posting something with that Hell Charger or the Engine of Vengeance, because you saw the pictures he was doing when that thing was up for the HasLab. He was doing all kinds of pictures and stuff. I would be doing that all the time. I would just every single day. I'd just be like, boom, 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 boom. Hey, look, another picture. You don't want to miss out on it next time. And then Ramen would just be like, hey, maybe Ramen Toys will do one for like $200. Maybe he'll do a fathership is what he'll call it. Like a fathership. The snake will look a little bit different. Come on, we know Ace is already working on something. He's got to be, right? That's what the guy's known for, man. He's just like, that guy's like, I can do it cheaper. That dude was pretty much fucking measuring the turtle sewer layer at PowerCon so he could fucking throw his up before PowerCon even ended. It seemed kind of weird. He's out there with his tape measure, like, hey, don't mind me, guys. Just trying to get my measurements for my non-turtle sewer layer that I'm doing. Well, the box is sitting on my table. I just got it today. I put it on Instagram that, I have a couple guards guarding it. I will be starting to open it tomorrow. I'm still trying to decide how I want to do how I'm going to do my reviews. I'm obviously going to review, I've already mentioned, I'm going to review the Hiss Tank alone, and I'm going to review the figures separate. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do the figures actually separate apart from each other. I think some people might be interested to see them separately rather than sit through, especially how long I go through my videos. But the female, I think, is the big one that people are going to want to see. So, but I want to have it all done. Like I want it open and see. No, you know what? Here's the problem with live reviews. I love Chris McLeod, but you ever see him doing an opening? Chris McLeod from the Full Force. He does these, his unboxings. No one wants to hear the crinkling of paper and yeah. And it's, again, even though you can see I pretty much do one take on everything. Yeah. The biggest issue with the Hiss Tank is it's just so big. I don't know. Right now it's sitting on my kitchen table because I'm just kind of like, all right. But just so you know, there's a good chance that you will see mine. Like my cover shots will probably have the Hiss pulling an asp because I have some other stuff to go with it. But yeah. And then, like I said, I am going to do one where I will definitely compare it to some of these 3D printed Hiss tanks. Because the fact of the matter is there are some people that, I don't know if they're still doing it, but even recently, up into a few months ago, we're trying to talk them and fucking, tell people that they're his tanks, that 3D printed his tanks are going to be just as good. I like my 3D printed his tanks. They're nice. It's not even going to be close. And you're still going to pay a pretty penny for one. And I think people have to understand what you get. I mean, again, really the best 3D printer that's doing stuff uh, in the GI Joe realm is Gridiron. And to make a snowmobile, you're looking at like $200 because it's two different pieces that cost $100 each. So right there, and that thing's tiny. So there's some guy trying to say that, yeah, for $17 he can print 3D hisses. Bullshit. I have exactly the same one. My buddy printed it. All right. You use different types of rubber for the treads because they're actually working treads. You have different colors on it. No one ever talks about, when 3D printing something, how many times something may fail and you're not there to stop it. Even if you are, guess what? You got to start all over again. Matt O'Brien says, not sure if anyone talked about the upcoming Hasbro layoffs, but that was a buzzkill holiday. Sorry for... Yeah, we talked about it earlier. But I mentioned, I talked right at the beginning. I swear, 1 year ago, I was talking about the exact same thing when they laid off 1,000 people. Unfortunately, this is, corporate America. It sucks. And I know people are going to try and point it at just Hasbro doing it. But just remember, the auto industry was just on strike right around Christmas time. They just went back to work. So it sucks. I feel bad for people. Unfortunately, it seems like around this time every single year, Hasbro starts laying people off. And they usually do one big mass, and then they'll do another mass one. I think they usually do it around like 2 months later. So, because when did Corey get let go? So it sucks, man. I mean, it sucks for anyone that's working. But again, it's not because, I'm sorry. I know other toy tubers are going to try and say, it's because of what we collect. It's not. This is such a small portion of what Hasbro does. You look at all their board games, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons. This is a small portion of what they do. I'm not saying it doesn't affect them, but the truth is, it is a small portion of everything. So it sucks, man. It does, because again, it's Christmas time. It's the holidays. I mean, it sucks if you ever get, let go, laid off. So, but we did discuss it quickly. I didn't really want to get too much into it because it's just corporate America. It's not Hasbro. It's corporate America. And this shit happens, and you kind of have to address it, because I know what this stream has become. I know this channel has become a G.I. Joe heavy channel mostly. Even though I talk about many other companies and brands and different things like that. So, but Todd says, unfortunately, Hasbro isn't the only company doing layoffs. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, Todd, just like I said, it's... But I know the narrative of a lot of these YouTubers and toy tubers. They hate Hasbro, so they want to go after it. And this is going to be, it'd be the same. It'd be the exact same thing of, perfect example. You have I'm sure they have them, car enthusiast that is all about foreign cars. By foreign cars, I mean non-US cars, non-American cars, right? And they're going, yeah, look at these greedy bastards. They want to work less. They want more money. And I'm not going to argue any of that. So I don't want anyone to think that. But, they're going, yeah, they're on strike. They don't want to work. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. It's the same thing. They have a narrative. These, people have narratives, and people are going to try and bash Hasbro for that. And again, you are more than welcome to bash a company that wants to do layoffs at Christmas. I am not going to tell you not to, because you know what? It is so insensitive. But corporate America will always, again, it starts at the top. it's all about padding their pockets. Hell, watching Christmas Vacation. What does the guy do? He cuts the bonuses because he wants to save money. And his wife at the end fucking tells him, like, all the cheap fucking shit you could do. I mean, it's just it sucks, man. But again, it's not Hasbro. It's corporate America. And the truth is, it's never going to change. Because the people that get in power, the only people that, they worry about how it pads shareholders' pockets, their pockets, and everything like that. So, and they'll let the most important people go. I can't say they'll let the most important people go. They'll let important people go because they think the next young person can do it at a much cheaper price. I don't know if that's true. There's something very important about experience. So yeah, it's just, I mean, I've been at my job for 22 years. I have experience. I don't think you want a young kid coming in and trying to fix your copy machine. You want the person that's done it. And believe me, a lot of shit knowledge that I have on our machines that are no longer ever going to be made again or used again. So, well, I don't know how they could let Lenny or Emily go, because Emily's like five fucking brands right now. Right? I hope so too. But again, what does everyone say about Hasbro? No one retires from Hasbro. I would hope so, because Lenny has, and there's some people that don't like him. I know there are people that don't like him, but he is the vision of what's happening with G.I. Joe right now, and I don't think that it can be. I don't think that can be debated. He is the only designer. He is the one designing every single classified. So, and Chaz chimes in. Here's the kicker. Common folk probably have Hasbro stock in their 401ks, so we are unwittingly supporting these bloated CEO salaries. Yeah, probably. There's a good chance of it. But again, really, Chaz? Really? You don't even fucking ask that, dude. Don't even fucking ask that. Yeah. Wade, I ain't even gonna fucking highlight that or not. I'll acknowledge that, even if it is a laugh my ass off. No, yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It sucks, dude. It sucks. I mean, but this is, I mean, yeah, this is how we do things nowadays. I mean, I don't think it's changed. It's been like this since the 80s. Hopefully it will get better, but I don't know. I don't really like to get into that type of shit too much, other than I think that people have a narrative that they're going to shoot for. And they did last year too. When Hasbro did the layoffs last year, they did the same thing. Fuck that guy. Anyway, Jay's, you're welcome very much. I want to get this J Solo Art. Okay, J Solo Arts. Oh, look, it's right here. I'm trying to read your fucking name and how it is, and all I had to do is look at your logo. I'm like, J Solo Arts. Nice to have you here, man. Again, I love when we get newer people in. It's awesome. Cap, yes. Lenny is a Care Bear deluxe size. Speaking of Care Bears, have you guys seen the Care Bears? I mean, I've talked enough about the Care Bears, and then all of a sudden here they are popping up. Who is it that's making them? God, I forget who's making them. Oh, I don't know. They're doing something. They're doing Mars Attacks too. But I was like, look, there's Care Bears. I probably have to get one because of all the Care Bears that I've talked about. Chaz says, I heard Classified will now be sold exclusively on Viper Island's website. Says Lenny better be safe. G.I. Joe wouldn't. I agree. Like I mean, I agree 100%. It wouldn't. It would take a because he's spearheading it. Where when Corey left, even though he designed a lot of different things, he was still under the management of someone else. Now there is Lenny's not the one that's in charge. There is someone else that really has pushed for the G.I. Joe team or the G.I. Joe brand to come back. But I think Lenny is one that's obviously been put in charge to decide what figures are going to come out, how they're going to come out, and everything like that. And I think he's done an absolutely wonderful job. So, Todd said, he said Lenny wasn't a G.I. Joe guy. Maybe he meant to say he should be the AF guy instead. Who said Lenny wasn't a G.I. Joe guy? There's been a bunch of people. There have been a bunch of people that have tried to do that. Had to try to say that. I hear way too much shit. You have to weed through the bullshit, but when numerous people report something or tell you something, or you hear things from numerous people that are almost the exact same story, yeah, like it's not always like that. So, Chaz. Hasbro said all of the losses have been attributed to Falcon's face sculpt. I think it's pretty bad. It is so bad. Yeah, see? So Cap, you're part of the problem. You didn't buy it. So now all those, now you need to tell all those Hasbro employees that they're the reason why they don't have. You are the reason. You didn't support Falcon and his ugly ass face. It is not a good face sculpt. It is not a good face sculpt. And they know it, and they agree with it. That's the whole thing. They agree it. They agree it. See, now I know it's going on way too long. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. Again, we did talk about the topic, right? I don't need people going, hey, did we even talk about the topic? We did. Just based on my feeling on Super 7, I think they made a huge mistake when it comes to this mothership. They should have had the O-rings done. They should have been showing them up. They should have had, waves already done. And don't do Kickstarters that end in December or even November or January because we still haven't recovered. Okay, and some of us don't have kids, or some of you don't have kids. I have fucking kids. So hold on. Are you recording Monday nights until year's end? I am not doing Christmas. That's the only day that I'm not doing it. Yeah. I doubt I will even be here. I'll probably be at my dad's till late that night. Either way, it's Christmas. Spend it with your fucking family. All right. Don't fucking spend it looking for me on a one-person stream. No, so that will be the second. That will be the second stream that I missed this year. Second stream ever, actually. The only other one was when I was in Florida for Disney. But I actually ended up jumping on with Payne's Toy Samples that day. And actually, as of right now, last that I was asked that I will be on a toy kind of mood on the 27th discussing top classified figures of the year. So you will get to see me that day. or that week. I will do something that is, listen, I'll do something. I won't be on Friday for sure because that is my skate night because it's my actual birthday. So I gotta skate at 48 to show that I can still do it. So, um, dude, my dad my dad wouldn't understand. Like he's like, what are you like? What? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I talk toys, and people tune in and they watch it, and some send super chats, and you have members, and I do reviews, and I make some money off it. He's like, I don't get it. Like, I know, Dad. You're in that era that you're never going to understand it. Luckily, I'm in that era that it's like I understand technology, even though I wish some of it would go away, but we were here when it was going crazy. So Todd says, does your dad know you still buy toys? Oh yeah. Well, he knows, all right. Like you can't walk in my house and not see them all over. A matter of fact, for school, my son, the kids have to do so much community service. So they did something at his church, and when they pulled up, the blinds were open and they could see. And he's like, "What's your dad watching?" He's like, "I don't know, some toy tuber, so some guy on YouTube about toys. That's all he does is watch stuff on toys." I'm like, yeah, pretty much, although you got to get away from it. I was barely on it. I listened to Oz's stream this week. I had to get away from it. I was so burnt out after Friday night, and I know Monday's coming, and I still have to do the show and shit. But yeah, it's sometimes you got to get away. I found myself watching a lot of toy tubers. As I've done more shows and I've done more reviews, I have to pull away and just kind of watch people that I like. But you kind of got to get away and be like, all right, you know what? I can't constantly do this because you go down a rabbit hole. And I also don't want to be on all the time. Like there's some guys that will do 5, 6, 7 live streams a week. Like, no, not gonna do that. So, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys all. I gave you guys 3 hours and 23 minutes. I did start late, so I gave you that little extra time here. Matthew and I will be on this Thursday to talk Christmas vacation, and then be next Monday. And there'll be a bunch of stuff coming out, obviously. So, that was the one thing that I wanted to mention. Okay, so before I do go, hey, hold on, no, 46 of you still watching. Hit that like button if you haven't. All right, so I will be doing other videos quickly. I'll be doing a best of classified, my top 10 classified of the year. I'm also going to be doing top 10 and like other than classified figures because I just thought it wasn't fair because there's so many classified. Do you realize, not including the his figures and the fire team, there's like 53 boxes of figures. Some of them were and that's like 53 different boxes. Some of them have multi-packs though. I can't believe we got that many fucking figures. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Everyone's saying later. I need to go to sleep. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I will see you guys on Thursday. Remember, tune in. Christmas vacation. Have a wonderful night.